Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody out there in the Restore the Snyderverse community? I am back at y'all again with another episode of OG Talk with Skywalker the Jedi. And today I am joined by the fabulous, the world renowned, you know what I'm saying, internationally respected and locally loved Mr. Will Rowland. You know what I'm saying? So, Will, you want to go ahead and say what's up to the people out there in the Restore the Snyderverse community? I'm sure it's been quite some time since they might have actually seen your face.
Hi everyone. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a podcast. I think it's got to be at least a year, isn't it? But yeah, hi to everyone, all the everyone out there, you know, who was in the movement and who's still going strong.
Most definitely, most definitely. You know, first, I just want to say thank you for taking the time out to come on the platform. You know what I'm saying? It's greatly appreciated, and you know, our community really has a lot of respect for you, and so it's super dope for you to be able to come through and you know, really spend a little bit of time with us.
No worries. Thanks for asking me. It's, when you asked, I thought, you know, yeah, why not? It's been a while, so.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So first, Mr. Will Rowlands, I would like to ask you just, you know, obviously you're a big fan of Zach. I want to ask you, like, where did that love for Zach and his movies, like, first kind of come from?
Well, one of the earliest I can remember of Zach's work was Dawn of the Dead. I remember watching that movie. At the time, I wasn't really paying attention on who made it. It was just a zombie movie, and I like zombie movies, so I watched it and I really enjoyed it. And I remember I bought the DVD, if I recall, and there it is. I'm one for buying DVDs to watch how they made it, because obviously I love filmmaking. And I remember, funny they say it's right there, director's cut and all, would you believe? Yeah. And I remember it was the first time, and I remember watching it. I can't remember what it is now, but there's a segment on this particular disc where Zach's interviewed.
Where's Mum?
One sec. One sec. Sorry, children, eh?
No
sec.
Problem. Wait to hear this. Yeah.
Sorry, kids.
All good, man. All good. You know,
where's Mum?
Gotta love her. Gotta love her.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So I was. I knew that had happened. I've just texted her as well, saying I'm live now. Leave me alone. She obviously didn't get the message. So I remember this DVD, and I remember there was like a director's commentary, and I remember thinking that he was quite a cool guy. You know, the way he made it was the first time I really remembered him, and I remembered his name, and it stuck in my head. And then I saw obviously 300, and it was that guy again. I recognised the name because Zack Snyder is quite a standout name, isn't it? It's not like it's not a very common name. And I liked 300. And then when Man of Steel was announced, obviously I'm not like I've always loved movies and films. I don't normally go, I must watch that film because of that director. But it's one of those ones where, you know, when you watch a film or a TV, you see a trailer and you think, oh, he's in it or she's in it, that'll be good, because they don't do shit. You know, they don't do like one of the ones I give you an example is Denzel Washington. If there's a Denzel Washington film, I will go and see it. I don't care what it's about, because you know.
Absolutely.
So when I heard that Man of Steel was going to be made, I was like, oh, I got it, a Superman film finally, and because obviously I'm a huge Superman fan, and then it was Zack Snyder, and I was like, oh, this is that guy. He does those films, and I remember thinking then this is going to be good, and I was right, obviously, because it was. So yeah, that's how I got to know his work, and then obviously the rest is history, as you know, of his work. So that's how now it's at the stage where if there's a film or a TV series or anything coming out and it says directed or produced or made by Zack Snyder, you know it's going to be good. You're going to watch it. You don't need a trailer. So I think his work's up there now with people like Denzel Washington and, you know, and other famous directors and actors. You know it's going to be of a standard.
Scorsese, Nolan, all that, right? Yeah.
Well, exactly. You know, whereas you see some movies and you think, who's in this? And you're like, Will Rowlands, who's he? You know what I mean? It's up there, isn't it? It's one of those things. That's how I got to know about him, really. So, yeah, that's why I like his work.
Man, speaking of like Man of Steel and like trailers and all that, what was your reaction when you first saw that Man of Steel trailer? I know you said that you were already excited by the name of Zack Snyder, but how did you feel actually seeing that first trailer though?
If I remember rightly, the first one I saw was the 10-second teaser, the one where it was like the water hitting the shore and
yeah.
It was very like sea music. It was kind of like it was not action hero music, was it? What was it like? It was like
yeah, it was very like,
and I was like
ethereal kind of music, you know. Yeah,
and I was thinking, hello, this is, and I think I thought, is this the right trailer? And I kept listening to it, and I was thinking, this is interesting. And then it built up, didn't it? And then of him flying through the sky, and that was it. And I was like, oh my god, this is going to be different. This is not going to be what we've been given in Superman Returns when they tried to recreate the Reeves era. This is going to be different, and this is going to. You then watched it. I probably watched it about 20 times in a row just in case I missed something. And I remember I kind of got it then, thinking there's a reason why we were shown less. You know, little teaser. It was grounded in real life, and then boom, there's this man flying through the clouds. Boom. And I remember thinking to myself, shit. And I remember when that film was coming out, because I was online almost every day seeing if there's something coming up, any more news, when's it coming out. I absolutely could not wait for it to come out. I think it was June the 14th or 13th of June 2013 there was a release date in the UK. So yeah, that was on my calendar, reserved day, book off work. You know, I will be seeing that. But yeah, my reaction was like, Jesus, this is going to be different. Then
absolutely, absolutely. Yo, so for the people out there that don't know, you are an actor, right? So my next question for you would be, with you being an actor and having so much knowledge of like just how these things go behind the scenes, what was it about Zack Snyder's work that initially just you know kind of drew you in? And would you say that your standard for really engaging with a director might be different from most people's? Oh, absolutely.
So sorry, mate. So sorry.
Oh, all good, man. Life is life, yo.
Kid was telling me that mum's back. So I'm great.
Absolutely.
Back to your question. What did I like about what drew me his work? I think going back when I first that Dawn of the Dead DVD, as I said, the director's commentary and the behind the scenes stuff back then is what made me feel like it looked fun.
Were you already acting back then, or did that come afterwards?
I did my training at college long time ago, and I just gave up on the idea almost immediately because I thought it was a stupid idea. You know, it's like a pipe dream, isn't it? You're like, oh, I want to be. I mean, when you're a little kid, every kid wants to be a famous football player or something, and then reality, and they go, duh, it's not going to happen to me. I had that kind of thing at college, and to be honest with you, I kind of already had that going into college when I left school, or thinking it's just a stupid pipe dream. It's like, how's a boy in Portsmouth in England going to end up in Hollywood? It's not going to happen to me. So my brain was already thinking of doing something normal, but I did well enough at school to not really need to go to college for what I wanted to do. So college for me was mostly about girls. Like, what course can I do that I like and will actually get a bit part of it? So I did it back then, and then obviously after that I thought, no, grow up, get a real job, get a proper job, earn some money and do something. So I did my stint with the army, and then later on I joined the police and I had 20 years.
Oh, see, I did not know that you were in the army or that you were a police officer, and I was in the army myself over in the US. So salute to you, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah, only for a few years, because it wasn't really. I just wanted to be a police officer more back then.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I did that, and then when my police, I knew at a certain point, I had an injury at work. I've got a few scars. My nice scar across my throat there. I've got back injuries. I had quite a physical career, and my luck was running out. I feel that. Home again, and I knew it was drawing to an end. And I was basically told near the end that, well, you've done enough. You can sit out and do 10 years on a desk if you want, and just sit it out and wait to retire. And I thought, well, hang on a minute, I'm still really young, I think, and there's still more I want to do. And if I can't do that, then what am I going to do? And it got me thinking, like, if I leave, what am I going to do? What have I ever done? Because up until that point, everything was either military training or police training or law or tactical stuff and just things like that. How I don't really want to do that in the private world, like private security. Yeah. I just if I can't do it, I'm not going to do it. If I'm not allowed to do it, I'm not going to do it. So then I was like, rather than college, I did the acting, and then it kind of thought about it, and obviously I'm still in the process of going through retirement. It took a long time, paperwork and that, and I just started thinking to myself, maybe it wasn't a pipe dream. Maybe I should have pursued it. And then I thought to myself, how many times in my career have I had to act to not get killed, or to get someone to do what I want them to do in order to do my job, or act a certain way, different scenarios where it needed it. Some people, being a policeman, you got to, especially in England, you got to, most of it's talking. Stuff on the news of the US doesn't seem a lot of talking. It's just, hey, we have to talk our way out of things.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different level of policing out here. I will say that. Absolutely.
You learn a lot of communication skills, and I thought, you know what? I remember in my acting training that they said that you have to draw from your own experiences and use that in different characters. And again, when I was younger, I think I was thinking, well, I haven't done anything really. What am I going to draw from? And I think that's part of the reason why at the time I was thinking, no, this isn't going to happen. But in hindsight, now I've had this life, and I thought to myself, well, maybe I can now. I've got things to draw from. I've been in really bad scenarios and really good scenarios, and I've done. My police career was really varied. I did what you would call SWAT. I was our version of that. I did protection for Prime Minister. I protected Obama when he came over. I did royalty. I did fast road accidents and things, and I did all sorts of different things. So I used to call my police belt my bat belt.
Yeah.
Sit at a police station for 30 years and just be a local policeman who walks around the neighborhood and retires. But I wanted some action, So I thought of all those little skills I've got and all different experiences, I can revert that back to acting. So that when I knew it was coming to an end, before I decided to really take the chance to leave and not be lazy. I could have just sat there for 10 years at a computer and wasting 10 years of my life, just to get a pension, or leave now and get paid. So, because luckily being retired means I've got a pension, so I've always got that, which is lucky. But so what I started to do, I started to make some contacts of people I already know that didn't quit and that didn't do business. And there are people that throughout my life I have met, become friends with, and things who are quite in the business still. I'm not going to say any names because they might not like it, but there's a particular guy, and it's weird how everything happens for a reason, doesn't it? There's a guy who was in the original Superman movie from 1978, and I've been friends with him for a long, long time. And I met him actually being a policeman. I met him at a convention and chatted to him, and I offered to buy him a beer. And it went from there, and that was it. And we stayed in touch, you know. And when I was leaving, I messaged him and said, look, I'm thinking of actually leaving and taking up the acting again. Do you think I should? Like, what do you think? And I remember this and this. I remember the training and all that stuff. Nothing that can't, you know, it's a long time ago, but it's kind of, I remember doing it. So he basically helped me give me some numbers and some contacts and said, like, phone this guy, tell him what I said. So I made a phone call. Hi, so and so said, and then I didn't hear anything for about 3 hours. And I thought, oh shit. And then the guy called me back and said, oh, I've just spoke to, and I was checking you were legit. You know, it wasn't just some random guy who got my number. And he said, right, yeah, send me your details, email me, you know, your qualifications and skills and life experience and all that kind of stuff, and I'll see what I can do. And that quickly led to an audition or two, and I got every one. And then what I've done since then is I've got an audition, but I was still actually semi-retired at that point. I was just taking unpaid leave because I had nothing to do. They weren't allowed, because of my back injury and I had some surgery, I wasn't allowed out in uniform again until it was leave. Or it was stay indoors or leave. I'm setting my ass, you know, getting paid the same as someone getting shot at. Do you know what I mean? It's not fair.
Absolutely.
You can employ, I mean, with my rank and years of experience, you could employ 2 brand new police officers for the same money. Do you know what I mean? You get to a certain point in a pay scale. I felt bad. I felt guilty. I'm getting paid all that money, and I can hear on the police radio what's happening. And I'm sitting there going, I'm safe. It's not wrong. It's not for me. So anyway, I started doing some work and getting some work and taking some, and it kind of took off from there. And then I retired and I became free to do more. But I found that because of I'm used to talking to people and, like, you know, communicating with people and meeting people every day, because I've sort of always ever done. I found that on sets, being older and maturer and experiencing that, I found myself helping the crew a bit too much than I should, when I should have gone and just had a coffee or reading the script, because I was thinking every time, this is great. I love filmmaking. You know, I remember this and that from college, and I remember seeing all these making of DVDs, and now here I am. I'm going to make the most of this in case I never get one again. And I got to know people, and as luck would have it, that actually got them contacting me later on the line saying, hi, I worked with you on da-da-da-da. There's a new thing coming up. Do you think you want to put in for that? You know, and then before you know it, you get an agent, and now it's speeding up. It was really building up as well, and then COVID happened, and then, you know, but the same for everybody. But there's a few things I was down to do which were cancelled because of COVID. Gutted. They were good as well, but I still can't talk about them because you have to sign the NDA. So yes, it's so that's how I got into it. It's bizarre. It's a weird story when you think about it, because I didn't think, if I didn't injure myself, I probably would have just stayed doing that, and that would have been it.
Absolutely.
So it's very bizarre. But I'll tell you one funny thing. I saw a movie a couple of years ago. It was a Gerard Butler movie. I think it's another one of the Olympus is Down, but it's the third one. But there's a guy in it, and it was a black guy, English guy, really tall, and he was like a henchman. And I was like, in the cinema, I was like, that's Wayne Gordon. He was my PTI in the police when I joined, and there he is on film, acting.
See?
And he was my physical training instructor, you know, and when I was a young, and I was like, this is surreal. It's like little things you think, oh, it's not just me then that moves on. It's not just, yeah. So I wrapped it a little bit then, didn't I? But
oh no, it's all great. It's all great.
Oh. And he's gone. It's the Will Rowland Show. Oh, he's back.
I'm back.
Technical issues today, aren't we? It is. Hey. We are having a heat wave. We're not used to this heat.
It's all good. Yo, we've been in the middle of a heat wave too, but it's actually like kind of overcast right now. So really? It's not as bad.
We've got like literally no clouds, and it's like 30 odd degrees, which for us is ridiculous. We used to dark clouds and rain.
I was about to say, over in the UK and it's no clouds, that's some strange times, Joe.
But obviously we can't cope, so obviously the road network's gone mad. Trains are cancelled, buses aren't working. I'm just glad I don't have to go anywhere. I just sit at home and do my own thing, But
No, look, it definitely sounds like you are one of those prime examples of everything really happening for a reason. And sometimes when one door closes, there is another one that opens that we end up walking down that, we really kind of sometimes may have thought that we wanted to go down or that we wouldn't be able to. But that's super dope that you were able to make that transition from, military law enforcement into something else that you really were very passionate about.
Yeah, exactly. I just didn't want to do nothing. I think it's it's just not me. I just want to do something. There's no point sitting on your bum, is there? Just doing nothing all day. I can if I want to, but I don't.
Absolutely. I am the exact same way. I get paid from the Army or whatever, but as with me too, when I got out, I was doing security jobs and stuff like that, and I'm just like, man, I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life, just sitting here guarding either other people or other people's property, right? That just really wasn't really what I was interested in. So
did you feel that what you were doing was not beneath you, but like you were too highly trained for that?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Down, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, very big
as well. And you're like, it's that if I can't do the real thing, I'm not going to pretend. Let someone else do that who wants to do that. But no.
Absolutely, yo. Now, with you being so into movies and filmmaking and all that kind of stuff, and with you being an actual actor, do you think that changes what your standard is for what you're looking for in a film or like filmmakers or things like that?
I don't know. I think I haven't changed from. I think what is always liked is what I still like. I've always preferred films. I used to always prefer films more over TV, but nowadays with streaming and series, or whatever you call it, when they're really long and there's overall stories, I feel that sometimes that can tell a story deeper. You can get to know the characters more, and you get to know and care for them, and that. Whereas a movie, it has to be quick. Even if it's a long film, unless it's a franchise. But I have always preferred movies where they are shot on location, like little CGI, so a bit more real, and I think that's why Top Gun did so well, because they used real things. So the only difference that's changed now, I think, is that where I used to always watch the making of, I see the making of now. And it makes much more sense now than it used to, because I used to think, I remember that at college, but it was performing arts and acting, so it wasn't really filmmaking training. So you still didn't really get. That's a completely different skill and qualification, isn't it? But so mine was more focused on the acting and the play and the theatre and all that stuff, with a little bit of knowledge of filming. Like some of the training was filming for camera, so you'd have to know. You learned all that, but you didn't learn about it. And that always, I think in hindsight, I probably would have preferred doing that than what I did. Maybe one day I'll do that just to learn that. But I think now when I see a movie, I can see how they've made it. I can spot they've done that now. Oh, that's interesting. And then so when I watch the making of, I'm like, aha, I see that. I thought they did that. You know, and you just notice a few things. But in terms of when I watch a film or something, I just watch it still as me.
Absolutely.
A person. I like to be told a story, and I'm a bit lazy to read books, although I do have many books that I've yet to read. That's for when there's a power cut. There's
and there with your candles and shit. You know what I'm saying?
To have it told to you and shown to you. So it hasn't changed in that way. I still love these things. Yeah, I think it doesn't matter what job you do. If you like a film or a character or a story, then you're going to enjoy it. It's entertainment, isn't it? At the end of the day, but I prefer cinema. I do prefer the big screen. I'm glad cinema's back, because then the way you look at it is how it's supposed to be, you know. So it hasn't changed. I'm still a bit of a geeky fan when it comes to things. As you can see, all my shit behind me. It's weird. You got old Ray Fisher and the old mate John Snyder from Dukes of Hazzard, some Star Wars guys, and my old uniform on the wall. But yeah, I'm just a geek. You know, I just, nothing changes. Why should it? It shouldn't change, and I don't think it changes people anyway. Because you look at Henry Cavill, he does his computer stuff still, doesn't he? He's into his Dungeons and Dragons or something. I think he does. I don't know what that is.
Like building PCs and stuff, right? You know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'll turn it on and go.
Yeah, right.
Don't touch that.
Okay. Nah, that is super dope to hear. We talked a little bit earlier about you know, your feelings going into Man of Steel, and you know how you felt after you saw the trailer and all that. Where were you after Man of Steel came out? Like, how were you feeling about that particular movie, and how did it hit you personally?
Well, I've watched it probably about 20 times in the cinema. What got me was the music. I think the music it was different. I was so glad it was the different theme tune, not the old. I love the old Superman theme tune, but I think in 2013 it came to a point where it would sound cheesy, and it wouldn't look right with what we're watching. It wouldn't sound right with what we're watching. So. But it became the new tune, as far as I'm concerned, because that follows him around now, doesn't it? When you do see him in future films, so the music was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and it complemented what we could see. Like it was the perfect sound and visual, I think. And I watched it, and I was like, "This was brilliant." I liked the way it was a bit flashbacky, rather than linear. So because that's more of a modern thing as well, whereas we're used to more linear, weren't we? And I don't know. I just thought it was brilliant. There were so many brilliant actors in it too. You look at look at who he got in the film. You know, Kevin Costner, Diane Lane, Lawrence Fishburne, Morpheus. You know, it's the first time I'd seen Morpheus for quite a while. He looks
Russell Crowe, right? Gary Lennox.
Russell Crowe, yeah. All these people, and it again, you know. If it's made by Zack Snyder, and he does really good films. Superman, not really heard of him much, but he looks like him.
That was the first movie I saw Christopher Meloni in from SVU, if I'm not mistaken, as well. That was my first time seeing him in an actual movie.
I didn't know his name, but he's one of those people who I know that face. He's been in a few things, but I can't remember where it is. But again, you know he's a good actor. You even had like Dr. Oh my God, I forgot his name now. I've watched it 1,000 times. Dr. You know, the beard.
What is his name?
Dr. Hamilton. Hamilton. I knew that name. What's wrong with me? He's always in Superman, isn't he?
Yeah.
Emil Hamilton. I know that man. I know that man's face, and he is again a very good actor. But he's one. And you had the guy who did the radar You know, when he said, "Oh, there's the ice thing," and it started moving, and it was off scale, and he grabbed his coat. He was in Star Galactica, I think. Again, it was all these actors that you think, I've seen these guys in a lot of things. So it's not like the production was so grand, I think. It was so good. And I remember thinking, like, you just knew. And what I'm trying to say is when you recognize faces and you see there's loads of them, it's gonna be good because they wouldn't be there otherwise.
Absolutely.
And then it's the colors, the sound, the music, the way the film went. And I think I'm really confused afterwards how people say it was depressing.
Absolutely.
I actually thought it was like, yes, right at the end, you know, and it was like, fuck yeah, where's the next one? You know, it's kind of that, oh, finally, we got a new one, and it's going to be there's going to be more because he's now at the Daily Planet and the world knows there's a Superman. And it was obviously not a Superman movie. It was the beginning or the creation of Superman. Yeah. So it didn't bother me so much that it wasn't like, you know,
he'd only been Superman for like a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? Like
it was like how he became. It's the becoming of it. It just happened to be that he was forced into it rather than chose to it because of what happened. So I left. I think a part that I loved in the film is not the ending, because you knew it was going to be the ending when he's riding the bike and the music's playing, you know, and you hear him narrating the voiceover, and you're like, oh, it's going to be the end now, gutted. But it's like I'm going to do this, I'm going to find a job, and the music, and then when she says "Welcome to the planet," that was probably the best line you could have ended it on, because it was such double meaning, wasn't it? It was welcome to the day, welcome to Earth. Like he's been accepted. Someone accepts him, you know, and it's Lois, you know, and he can be him. And it was like, and he's that big smile on his face, and then it cut to the music, and I was like, whoa, and it was like, and you could like, and then the music playing, and you leave this. I remember leaving the cinema, and everyone I remember seeing, every time I went to see it, people had big smiles on their faces, talking about it, and you know that everyone's enjoyed the film. There's that feeling that it built up and built up to that last, and it just ended Man of Steel. Yes. So now I was left thinking, cool, the next film's about Superman. Maybe the next film will be called Superman and not Man of Steel. I don't know. That's what I was thinking at the time. But no, it was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. And I couldn't wait then for their news on the next stuff. It was awesome.
The Man of Steel.
You know what? I showed my dad. He hadn't been in cinema for years and not really bothered about films, and he was kind of into films, but I said to him, you've got to watch the new Superman movie called Man of Steel, and he's like, oh, and then he done the thing, and I've heard that, you know, it's a bit not Superman-y, and it's a bit, you know, and I said, Dad, just watch it, trust me. And he watched it, and when it ended, he went, wow, that's the new Superman. Oh man. And I was like, told you. Well, yeah.
You should have listened to me in the first place. You know,
but it was like, and we talked about it for hours afterwards. And then my dad became like, when's the next one? Is it going to be Zack Snyder? Is it this? Is it? And he was now looking forward to it. So that was it. It spurred off, you know, from just me going, watch the DVD. Honestly, it's so good. It's not what you think. It's not like colourful and campy and forced humour. It's actually kind of realistic. You know, that's what I like about it too. It's grounded, and that's what goes back to that teaser, where it's the water, the washing line. It's all real stuff, and then there's a man flying. So it puts it in the world, so you can relate more. And that was one of the things people always said. Oh, he's a boring character, you can't relate to him. Well, yeah, obviously, because he's a superhero. But they've made him human. Yeah. Because it was about Clark, wasn't it, the film?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was a great film. I loved it.
Oh, yeah. See, I wasn't even that, like, I was always much more of a Batman fan growing up. And, you know, I used to love Superman, the animated series, but that was about it. And it wasn't until Man of Steel came out that I really, really was like, oh, my God, there actually is a story out there that I can relate to Superman with, because prior to that, I just was never able to really kind of find that connection.
No.
Um,
I think. Did you ever watch Smallville?
no, I missed the Smallville train, but I've heard that the Lex Luthor is fantastic from that show. So I think I might have to go back and watch it just for the Lex Luthor
You know,
interpretation.
like you, I always really liked Batman growing up. My Batman era was the Adam West show.
Oh yeah, I used to love that show growing up too.
So kapow, it's so cheesy. But as a kid, you're like, yeah, kapow, you know. And that was that was for me. Batman was amazing. And for me, then you had Christopher Reeve, Superman. So it was the two brightest ones you could have. And then as you get older, you kind of have to accept it's a bit too colourful and a bit too cheesy for the general audience. So now it's moved on. I think Marvel are going backwards. They're becoming that again. It's starting to look like a 70s TV series.
Yeah.
Sadly. And that's why I think I always preferred DC over that. But yeah, with Batman's the same for me and Superman. So it was really good. But when I remember, obviously, what's Lois and Clark? That was good, but it was still a bit cheesy, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
But it was the 90s, so it was acceptable. And then other things. And then I remember Smallville coming out, and I remember hearing about it being not. It's about him. It's basically a puberty show, isn't it? It's about him in puberty.
Yeah.
How he becomes a man, you know.
Yeah.
And I liked it, and it got me straight away. And it was because he wasn't fully powered, didn't know. He was learning. It actually, like I said earlier, is one of those things where it became Superman film was able to stretch him out, and actually you get to. And that's why I can't believe you can't see Smallville. There's 10 series. Right, your mission is to watch Smallville.
Okay, cool.
Brilliant. It's absolutely Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum. Perfect Lex and Clark. And that was brilliant. And it has its issues, obviously, because it's a TV show. But the best thing about it, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and everything's dealt with and covered, and there's no what happened to that person. It's a proper full story. And it's almost the TV version of Man of Steel, because it finishes with him becoming Superman as opposed to being Superman. It's kind of linear in that way. And so now it's more, it's a bit more grounded and realistic-y. But it's more relatable, I think is the word. But yeah.
Absolutely. Look, I think that one of the testaments to Man of Steel and just Zack in his work period, right, is that he's able to give us these great action and fight scenes, but also these very personable and relatable moments, right? That usually end up being more impactful than a lot of the action scenes that we may have seen earlier, right? Mm-hmm. So you were speaking about how you love the ending to Man of Steel and how that's one of your favorite parts of that actual movie. One of my favorite parts is the actual reveal of Zod when he gets to planet Earth and, he is warning everybody. I think that is a masterful scene. And that's probably my favorite part from that movie. So,
yeah, I agree. Do you know? Yeah. I remember. I thought about that scene before, because in the real world, if there was to be such a thing, you wouldn't necessarily believe the media, would you? But
no.
If your phone is taken over and everything is taken over, shit, this is real. But again, it was like he made it to be so believable that that's probably something that they would do.
Yeah,
so it would happen to do with.
It was on every single screen.
Yeah, everywhere. I still don't know what an RFS feed is, whatever that is, but it's fairly technical. But that's probably it grounded it again, didn't it? Because you see everyone going, what the fuck, my phone? And, do you know what I mean? It's not just on the news, UFO spotted. It was everything.
Yeah.
No, that was a wicked way. And it was menacing, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Look, so after Man of Steel came out, right, and you and your dad and everybody, we're all patiently and eagerly waiting to hear any kind of news about this sequel, right? Then you have the Comic-Con moment where Harry Lennix reads the quote from The Dark Knight Returns, and you see the bat symbol you know, kind of superimposed behind the Man of Steel symbol. Where were you at, and like, how did you feel when you heard that that was actually going to be the next movie in this whole kind of saga?
I can't remember where I was or what I was doing, but I remember that I remember the Comic-Con was due, or it was on, and obviously we're 8 hours ahead of you, so for us, the timings are things. So it's hard to keep a note. You have to keep checking. I remember checking online, various YouTube channels, I think. And then I don't remember what it was. But I remember finding something that said, "Oh, someone's uploaded a video, audience reacting to this," and that was my first knowledge that there'd been an announcement that something did come of it. I guess I was probably waiting for news to come back that so and so had a panel or whatever, but it was actually somebody's video in the crowd. That was the first thing I ever saw. That was like
you probably saw the exact same video, yeah.
And the crowd. I wish I was there. Can you imagine being there at that moment? That's something I was there, isn't it? That's when I was thinking, my God, shit, you know. And it's both of them bang together. But I remember also everyone then started talking about the title for ages and ages, going over the V. Should it be V or VS? And I was thinking, who cares? Yeah. It's Batman and Superman. Shit.
I actually kind of forgot about that little controversy, but it just really goes to show. Look, it just goes to show that at every single point we have had to combat dumb shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, from the title, and it was like, where's the VS? Why is it Batman V? You know, and I even heard some people saying, why are they gonna fight? It's like, wait, have you not heard of the Dark Knight Returns? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's going on?
And also like, it's an origin of how they became friends. It's like you can't just suddenly go, we're friends.
Exactly.
Was he? You have to explain how they become together, and I think masterpiece, isn't it? Be honest, it's. But no, I remember that. I remember that video, and I remember thinking, it was the longest wait, wasn't it? It was the longest wait. Every time I was updated, is there anything new? And every time there was something new mentioned about the film or something, like, oh, I must read that and find out about it. I was super excited for that film. Do you know, I was actually at the London premiere for Man of Steel and BVS.
Oh my goodness.
Leicester Square. I was there.
See, that's them privileges, you know what I'm saying? That is fantastic. I would have loved
the first one. I actually told Zach this myself. In Man of Steel, I was actually at work in London, and I knew the premiere was on there. So I made a point of offering to buy the coffee for everyone in the car. There's 3 of us in the car. So, pull up here, I'll get a coffee. Oh, I'm really busy. Let's go somewhere else. No, coffee's good here. No, I wanted to walk through Leicester Square and see all the stuff because I was at work. Yeah. So I was like, picture. And I remember seeing Zach shaking people's hands. And I went, excuse me. People moved out of my way because I had a police uniform on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I bent over and someone went, Zach, shook his hand, and then left. Bit naughty, but and then I said, I can't get to the coffee shop, it's too busy. And they told you.
Hey, so what? You know what I'm saying? I don't care if that was, in abuse of power. That shit had to happen, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I really wanted to buy coffee, but I had an idea. I had ulterior motive at the time.
It's super dope. Closest that I can get to that is when I went to go see BVS, I saw it at the Chinese theater, and they had like the Batmobile and like all of the suits and stuff there. So I did get to see that, but I didn't get to go to the premiere. That and Kevin Feige and Sam Raimi were at my screening of Multiverse of Madness recently too. So that was actually pretty dope as well. And that was a nice little surprise. But
I've worked with them.
Oh, see, I'm over here trying to name dry you like, yo, man, I got their phone number. You know what I'm saying?
It's cool, though, isn't it? It's like part of history when you think about it. Like, if you're into films and cinema, then things like that are cinematic history and filmmaking.
Absolutely.
So, it's years to come when someone says, "Oh, there was that thing where so and so was at," and you can go, "Yeah, I was there."
Absolutely.
It's good. It's cool. I also like to see at premieres the things they put up. Like they had one of the big buildings in Leicester Square, the cinema, had a giant BVS, like the S and the bat. Boom, and I got a really grainy picture because I think my phone was like an iPhone 2 or something.
Yeah.
It was like in the dark, I can't get a picture. But no, I've still got them somewhere. They must be on my iCloud or something. But it was super. I think I was annoying everybody I knew at the time because I was like, "Oh, there's a new film. It's Batman and Superman. Ooh, it's a sequel. It's a sequel to that film I really, really went on about." I think my family and relatives were like, "Shut the fuck up. How old are you?" And I was like, "Shut up. It's good." But no, you wouldn't believe the controversy.
Get a job, child. You know what I'm saying? Like,
grow up, stupid. Oh, you did. No, it's no, I loved it. It's a funny old time, isn't it? The excitement that you got nowadays. You hear news and go, yeah, probably. They've kind of zapped the buzz and the fun out of everything, haven't they?
Absolutely.
It's not. You don't know if it's real or not, if it's really going to happen or it's not going to happen. But no, they were good times. They were really good times. They were.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It was exciting to have something to look forward to again. It almost like made you feel like a bit of a kid, didn't it?
It absolutely did, yo. Absolutely did. I'm gonna get into this in 1 second, but it was actually a moment where I like shed tears. So you know what I'm saying, like just in pure anticipation and excitement, right?
And you had the different trailers too. Do you remember? They kept bringing out different trailers for BVS.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Hey, I'm about to get in that in 1 second. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but look, look. I want to ask you. All right. So look. Moving forward slightly, right? Where were you at mentally when you heard that Ben Affleck was going to be playing Batman and like Gal Gadot was going to be playing Wonder Woman, right?
Okay, complete honesty. When I heard Ben Affleck, I was in a police station at a computer, on my phone. I was like, "What the fuck?" Batman? And I was like, "Wait." Ben Affleck, oh, no one cares. I forgot. Like, what? And I was like, he was shit in Daredevil. That's my first thought. Was, what? Oh, no. And then I was thinking, but maybe it'll be okay. Like, as it sunk in, actually, maybe not too bad because, Zach, look at those people he picked in Man of Steel. There must be a reason he's picked him. Yeah. And then, like, my brain started convincing myself, and then the shock and awe came off. And then I started thinking, actually, he's older now. He's probably better, and he's made. I think Argo came out first, didn't it?
Yes.
I remember seeing Argo, and I think it's really good. I think actually, he has changed a lot since the Daredevil days.
I actually didn't see Argo until after he got announced as Batman, and I went back and watched Argo, and I was like, "Oh my, that was such a fantastic movie."
Yeah, he's
Gone Girl as well.
Better now. I think as an actor, he's so much better now. He's older. He just doesn't know what it is. But so that's what I was thinking. My initial reaction, like I say, in all honesty, in that first 30 seconds was, what the fuck is going on? Like, whoa. And then obviously think about it. Trust him. You would have picked him for a reason. And then look at all them great actors he had in the previous film. We wouldn't. And I think, oh, remember Argo? Yeah, he's brilliant in that. Maybe he's changed. For the trailer. And then I can't remember the trailer, but what was the trailer about? Yeah, actually, when I first saw pictures.
Yeah, it was that picture with him in front of the Batmobile that Zach put out first.
And I was like, oh, okay, this looks good.
Yeah.
Like that. But as for the announcement of Gal Gadot, I didn't really think anything of it, to be honest with you, because I wasn't really a massive Wonder Woman fan as a kid. I think I kind of liked the old TV series, partly because I think when I was younger, it was a lady
Yeah.
So as a little boy, I'd be like, Wonder Woman. But after that, I didn't think much of it. And I know that sounds awful saying that, but that's the truth. When you're a little boy, you see that, you're like watching Baywatch, isn't it? So I didn't really care for the character then, to be fair. And the reason I remember thinking that as a child is because when she was cast, people, she's a bit skinny. Oh, she's a bit flat-chested. How can she be? And I remember thinking, I don't really know. Like, I don't care, to be honest with you. Like, it didn't bother me. And I thought, she's very pretty. She looks, she's not like white like the Linda Carter was. She looks, she's mythical. And okay, maybe again, I don't really know her much as an actor. I know she'd been in Fast and Furious 5, I think it was, and I didn't have anything negative to think about her or positive. It was just okay, cool. I don't really, and that's the thing. Looking back as a young boy, like I said, it sounds really sorry, misquote me on this now. As a young boy, I think I watched Wonder Woman TV show more because I thought she was really pretty. I didn't get the character because I was a boy and I was like Batman and Superman. I didn't really want a girl hero then because I was a little boy. It didn't appeal to me. I wanted like He-Man, and and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't really into that, but I acknowledged it was a superhero and it was a bit fun, but it didn't bother me if it weren't on. So that kind of stuff, it was more of a like, oh, she's a pretty lady with a whip and shield and stuff. So it was like, meh. So when it's Wonder Woman, I remember thinking, wonder why it's in Batman and Superman, that character. I guess I'll learn. And then obviously then you hear about the world building where it's going to be more characters. And I was just thinking, maybe it's a little cameo drop, a bit here, a bit there, just to build it. A bit like the satellite in Man of Steel and the LexCorp lorries in the background and the LexCorp building. It's just Easter eggy drops. So I was thinking, okay, cool. And then you see people online and they're starting posting pictures of like what Wonder Woman should look like, and I've seen some stupid ones, like it looks like Pamela Anderson, or like the Hulk as big muscly, and you're thinking, well, hang on a minute, like if she's super powered, it doesn't matter what size she is. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just strong, So and I remember thinking, so to be honest with you, I didn't really have much thought about the character, just that she was Wonder Woman. She's in the comics. But it's never a character as a young boy that I focused on, as in, because I think, and it sounds awful now, I know I'm older, but because it was a girl character, it didn't appeal to me. It was, I want to pay attention to the boy characters. But obviously, but that's just how times were, it's just like, okay, but she's not as strong as him. She's not as strong, with the, what's the word, ignorant.
Yeah. I mean, hey, when we were all young, you know what I'm saying, I was kind of the same way too. I was never really drawn to the Wonder Woman character either. My mom was like a super big Linda Carter fan, right? And so that was more or less the lens that I was kind of viewing Wonder Woman through. And I thought she was a little thin as well. I had only seen her in the Fast and Furious movies, but when I saw the picture that Zach dropped, I was like, all right, I'm not going to complain now. She looks fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of the end of that.
I didn't care so much for the character really. I do now.
Absolutely.
Well, I wasn't bothered. Like, it's okay. There's this lady called Gal. Don't really know much of her, but Henry didn't really know much of him, so it's whatever. I was still trying to deal with the Batman thing, to be honest. I think at the time I was worried about that. But now when I see that picture, he put the three of them, didn't he, as well?
Yes.
Costume practice. And I remember thinking, that looks really cool. And it didn't matter. I wasn't looking at this. It was just her as a whole. Do you know what I mean? And that people were focusing so much on that area of her, weren't they? And whether
it was definitely a bit weird. It was definitely
in the comics sometimes it's ridiculously like burr in it, and and it's not real. It's a comic, so people just the artists would draw people in certain ways, and because it was a woman, and back in those times, they would overdo that part of a woman, wouldn't they? And they would overdo the man, you know, because that's what they did. But what I'm trying to say is, when I saw that picture, I thought, actually, this looks pretty cool. That outfit looks pretty, like, and you know, and that's the other thing. I thought with Man of Steel, they went into such detail with the costumes. Like,
yes,
giving Superman's suit an actual meaning. It's like Under Armour when you think about it.
And they had the whole little Kryptonian language writing on there as well.
Yeah. So I remember when I see the picture of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman in that shot that he put on, I think it's Vero, and I mean, she looks mean. She looks really tough. Ooh, shit. Interesting. Maybe this is going to be awesome, because it looked like, what's that on her wrist? And, you know, and the outfit was there, and it just looks like a character I could think. Not in a like a oh, she looks nice. You know, it was like oh, she looks tough, and she looked well hard, didn't she? She's
the tank out of like the entire crew. She's definitely like the tank almost. You know.
Yeah, she looks fierce. And I was thinking, oh yeah, it's weird. Okay, maybe this is going to be good. I still didn't think much of it. I still didn't know much about what she could do and things like that, because I kind of always just not paid attention. But it's obviously then when during BVS, and then you see the actress like in normal, you know, in normal clothes when he bumps into her occasionally. It didn't cross my mind for, oh yeah, that's the girl that's going to be Wonder Woman. It didn't really. That was like a side for me at the time. I thought that was a side story, as an Easter egg building up for a future film or something. And but when Batman was fucked and he was about to get killed with Doomsday, and she looked up like that, I was like, holy shit. And that was the moment, the way he did that, the way he filmed that, I thought, fuck me.
Yeah.
This is a powerful character that I would have, like, if I'd have seen that as a young boy, I'd have been fucking yes. Do you know what I mean?
Yo, that's still the loudest pop in any theater I've ever heard is when she saved his life. The crowd was insane. I
forgot that she was going to be in it at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I knew the bit where she was getting off the plane, but I didn't. I was so engrossed in the film that I forgot that she was Wonder Woman, and that there was a character that was. It was stupid. I remember the first time I seen it, I was just so into what was going on. But when she like said that boom, and then it eased off, and then she I was like, oh my god! And then she started kicking his ass. I was like, what? And that was my first time I ever thought that Wonder Woman is actually a superhero character that I would actually think, go on, puncture him, beat the crap out of him, and save people. It was the first time I saw her as an actual hero that you could look up to and go, wow, she's awesome. Like, in a non-boy girl way, it was just
awesome.
Like Superman, it was like Superwoman in a way, innit? You know?
Yeah.
And she was like, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot she was coming. Oh yeah, my god, you see the outfit and the shield. I loved how the shield absorbed the energy, and and the sword and that. And that's the first time I genuinely cared about that character or the announcement of the actress, because it was up until that point she was just someone talking to him, and you knew she's mysterious, and it was building to something. But I honestly thought that was coming into her movie. You know, I didn't think it didn't dawn on me at the time. Ironically, Dawn of Justice, that she would appear to save them. She actually saved, she saved them, didn't she? When you think about it.
Pretty much. She
was the hero of the film in a way, because they would have been buggered. They would have been, Batman would have been dead, and Superman would have died. Game over. They
definitely would not have won if she didn't show up. Absolutely.
You know, and I was like, and then I remember watching the first time when she started battling him, and I remember thinking, and I remember that smile. She kind of had that smile, like she was enjoying the fight. Went, what? Like, I've never seen that before. Like, where you see the hero like having a fight, but kind of enjoying the challenge. And it was like, oh, she's badass. Like, she's proper. There's more to this character than I thought. Like, this person's got some balls, ironically.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So after BVS and the Wonder Woman film coming out, I was thinking, I'm watching that. That's going to be awesome. I'd love to see how she became I'd love to see how she became that warrior that we saw appear out of nowhere and then, you know, do what she did, because it was a brilliant scene. I think it was brilliant, you know, and yeah, I think she would have just kept fighting and fighting and fighting. But it was no, I never forget that drop in. And obviously when we saw the SnyderCon thing when we watched the BVS, I remember again there everyone went whoa, even though everyone knew it was coming. But in the cinema, people were like, oh! I remember hearing gasps, like it shocked people that she had, you know.
Oh yeah.
Batman. Oh shit. You know.
Because Batman was told so.
For him, he's about to die, and he's like, oh shit. And funny enough, when he did that, when you think about it, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, he then had a thing to protect himself, didn't he?
Right. See, oh my goodness. See, man, fucking Zack is the blueprint, yo.
Isn't it?
Nothing is wasted.
It's not like he's copying her. He would have needed that back then,
right? Which is probably where that whole idea came from that he gave to like Alfred. He's like, "Yo, I need something to
because if she dropped down,
energy."
I would have been toast. You know, after that, so obviously, I know we're jumping ahead a bit, but when I saw the Wonder Woman movie, I was like, "Fuck, this is awesome," and it was a brilliant film, apart from the end, but. You know, but it made her character and it made sense. It completed the BVS story for her. For me,
absolutely,
it gave her a real reason to be there, and like the "Who is she?" moment. Well, we'll find out in the next film. So that was cool, and I hope I didn't come across sounding sexist when I said that. But as a young boy, that's what I was. It's a pretty woman on the telly.
Yeah, I feel it.
Do you know what I mean?
It
was a character. It was just a woman. You know, for me, I was more interested in the ones I was focused on, and you know, I'm not embarrassed to say, as a young boy, I put a Superman suit on underneath my school shirt.
Right.
Every little boy did. Oh yeah, why can't I fly? What's going on? Don't work.
Right. Oh yeah.
No, it was that was my thought of the castings anyway. But I'm glad they worked. It wouldn't be the same without them.
They all worked, yo. Not only does Zack make us care about Wonder Woman, but he also made Aquaman cool as well. Aquaman was always like an afterthought and like, you know, kind of the butt of a lot of jokes. And when he cast Jason Momoa to play him, it really kind of ended a lot of that fucking silly debate that kind of surrounded that character.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember, I remember the cartoons of Aquaman when I was young. And it was a blonde guy, wasn't it?
Especially Super Friends, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's where a lot of these jokes and memes come from. And
he was talking to fish. But you know what? When I was younger, I didn't think that was something to take, to laugh at. I just assumed that, well, he's Aquaman. Of course he can talk to fish.
Yeah.
The whole point, he's in the water.
Yeah.
Fish, isn't he? So I never understood why that was a piss take or a butt of a joke, because, well, yeah, he's Aquaman. He's got to be able to communicate with his environment. So I never saw why that's a piss take. But yeah, of course he can. You know, why can't you talk to fish? Well, because you're not Aquaman. It makes sense, doesn't it? So I never said why that's a thing people say. But going back to Smallville, again, you meet Aquaman at some point, and he's the Alan Rickman. He's the Reacher actor.
Okay.
Brilliant show. He
actually kind of looks like a young Aquaman too. So
yeah, well, he was Aquaman in Smallville, and they made him the Aquaman character a little bit cool as well. I thought he was pretty cool in the film. It's right in the TV series. So when they said there's an Aquaman coming out, the only time when they cast Jason, my only thought was, oh, he's got long hair. But then I thought maybe he'll cut it, or maybe it'll look cool in the water. I don't know. It didn't bother me. It was just like, I was like, oh, it's Jason Momoa. I remember him, wasn't he, on Baywatch? And I thought, that's weird. He's in Baywatch, now he's Aquaman. So it's sea related. But I remember thinking, well, Aquaman's in the Justice League, so it makes sense. There's going to be Aquaman. Jason Momoa is a well-known actor. You know, he's one of those people you've seen him around at the time. Because that's what made him, wasn't it? Really,
especially from Game of Thrones too. You know, what I'm saying?
Game of Thrones at the time, or as we call it, Tits and Dragons. That's basically what it is. But no, I didn't care for it. I don't know. I just thought it would be cool. And then when you do see him in BVS, you thought okay, that's what it will look like. Pretty cool. It's what I expected. I wasn't disappointed, and I wasn't looking forward to it. It was just, it's going to be a Justice League film, but it's got to be Aquaman in there. So it makes sense that there's going to be an Aquaman. So no, I wasn't like, oh, Jason Momoa. Okay, Jason Momoa. Why not?
Absolutely.
You know, and thinking about it, he has made it cool because of the personality he's got. A lot of that comes through as his character, doesn't it? And it makes more sense to him to be more of a surfer dude.
Yeah.
You know, someone that lives that life. I mean, imagine if you were him and you were just swimming in the oceans and sitting on beaches and sunbathing and playing in the water or something. Whatever, like, you know, you see these guys who go out to California. Yeah. They go every morning to catch a wave and that. They all like chilled out, and they're all cool. You know, they're in touch with nature, so it makes sense for that character to be that. You know, and I think he's perfect for it. He really is, and he's made. And it's another casting by Zach, isn't it? You've got to trust him. When he casts, you've got to trust. But no, I think he was cool. But I think I won't say what else I think in case you ask me the question and I ruin your questions. But no, I thought he was awesome too. So yeah.
Oh no, absolutely not. You're doing great, yo. I have learned as well to kind of trust Zach in his castings because, you know, you said that you had that 30-second thing with Ben Affleck. Mine was more like a couple days. I was like really confused. I was like really confused at first. I was like, yo, you know, what the hell, like Ben Affleck, man? Yeah. Like, you know, it just really didn't sit well with me. And it just took me a little bit longer, you know.
Yeah. Maybe it's because I'd seen Argo before and I'd seen some more recent stuff.
Yeah.
Brain quickly was like, well, hang on, you were surprised at how good he was in that one. He looked totally different to. Do you know what I mean? Because he was quite in his early career. He was like action star, and he's done some good films. I like what's that one where he has to work back on technology, and then he has his memory wiped, and then he tries to find out what it was. That's a Paycheck. I love that film, Paycheck. I thought it was good in that. But then the whole Daredevil thing, and then I started seeing him as just being this like playboy, pretty boy going out with Jennifer Lopez.
Geely. You know,
he's lost it. He's gone a bit celebrity. So I kind of like phased out. So I didn't think about him again until like Argo and that. And I thought, oh yeah, that's pretty good. He's maybe matured. And then Batman, what? And that's why I quickly went, hang on a minute, wait, calm down. No, it'll be okay. Should be okay. I hope. And that's when you start for me. But yeah, so Aquaman didn't bother me. Same as Wonder Woman didn't bother me. Who it was going to be? The fact that they have to be there. So. Let's see. That was me.
Absolutely. All right. So moving forward just a little bit, the trailers for Batman vs Superman start getting released. All right. Before you give your take, I want to make mine well known and clear. I feel like the BVS Comic-Con trailer is the greatest trailer I've ever seen. It actually drove me to tears the first time that I watched it. I will never forget. I was in the house. My brother was just randomly over there, and I was like, yo, this shit's out, and we put it on, and I was just blown away by that trailer. So the marketing for this movie was fantastic. In my humble opinion, where do you feel like the marketing landed for you, and were you happy in that lead up to the movie being released?
Yeah, it's same for the trailer. I thought it probably is one of the best trailers ever. They released quite a few trailers for that movie, didn't they?
Yes.
I like one of my favorite trailers for BVS is one of the last ones where it's Superman on the roof and he does that punch and he gets blocked.
Yeah.
The music and that's really good.
Oh my god, yo! When Batman blocked that punch, I think everybody was like, "Oh shit!" Like Superman.
You see the confusion and fear in Superman's face, like, and then, oh shit! Like first time he's ever going to fear getting punched back. Do you know what I mean? That moment. But I remember the trailer for that. But I also liked the bit in the trailer where Superman's come down and he's saying, "Stay down. If I wanted to, you'd be dead already."
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, if you fucking wanted to. I remember, come on, Superman. Tell him, because obviously I prefer Superman over Batman, even though I love Batman.
Thanks, right?
Man, if you stay down. But he wants to talk clearly. And I remember thinking, "Go on!" I remember thinking, "Fuck yeah!" And I remember like getting the underground tube in London to work every day, and there's posters everywhere. Everywhere you looked was a BVS poster. It'd either be a Lex one, a Lois one, a Superman or Batman. You know, there was.
Alfred got a damn poster, right?
They were everywhere in London. Yeah. They were on the side of a bus. The big red buses were covered in it. The back of the bus, and Piccadilly Circus, which is like pretty famous, but there's like a curvy building with sort of like TV screens, a bit like Times Square.
Mm-hmm.
It'd been near Leicester Square, and it kept playing over and over again, that trailer. And I was thinking, I can't wait for this film. I can't wait to see how he blocked him. I didn't even think about Kryptonite. I'm so stupid. I was like, it was just really good. The trailers were so like, they were showing you a lot, but not a lot. And they kept changing, and almost the themes were changing with it, weren't they? Like the perspectives and that. And I think the one that sticks in me most is the one where the lady's saying, "My son was in the bus." Because every time to this day, when I'm in America, if I see a school bus, my brain goes, "My son was in the bus."
You think that Man of Steel scene, right?
Yeah, you know, that's Man of Steel, yeah. But I thought they're brilliant, and I thought the marketing was wicked, like because it was everywhere. Everyone knew, and everyone talked about it. Like you said earlier, "Oh, why are they fighting?" Well, just because it's a V, that mean it's going to be a punch up. It could be a disagreement. Could be they're both trying to get the same thing. You didn't know, did you? And I never understood what the issue was, because, like say, in the comic, you know why. And the biggest clue was when Harry Lennox read out the bit. So obviously it was based on that. So you knew it was only going to be temporary. You know, chill out. It's not going to last. It's just part of the story arc. But no, the merchandise, everything was fucking brilliant. What have I got? I don't even, no, not to hand. But there, again, we had so much stuff up in and around London, and it was every time I saw it, I was like, yes, it's coming. It's coming, because you knew when you started seeing posters, fuck, it's got to be soon. It's coming soon. It's coming soon. And we had trailers on the TV all the time coming up. Like normal TV channels, you know. So marketing, I think, was absolutely brilliant, because anyone knew, whether they cared or not, there was a Batman and Superman film coming out, and it was being seen and talked about. And surely that's the best advertising they could want, is people to notice it.
Those are the kind of fan wars that I can actually appreciate, because in the lead up to that movie, everybody was arguing about who was going to win, right? Was it going to be Batman or Superman? That's the kind of stuff that I can get behind, because that type of stuff is actually, good for the fandom, and not these silly fucking debates that we get into nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, I think they both won. That was it. They both won and they both lost. So it didn't matter. I didn't see it as that. I could never get in on that. Oh, who's going to win? What's this a not question? They're obviously on the same team eventually. That's the whole point of it, isn't it? It's how they became friends, and how, I don't know. I just couldn't get in. I could not get that thought process on it at the time, like who's going to win. No, I was like, well, if it's a fight, Superman. If it's some kind of moral, it might be Batman. I don't know, but they're going to go against each other, similar to the recent comic, and as a result, they're going to become friends. And most people become friends through experiencing something together, don't they? And
absolutely. Oh yeah.
So that's obviously the storytelling of this film, and then Dawn of Justice. And we all knew that meant Justice League's coming next. So it had to be the get-together of how they... So it never bothered me. I didn't quite get why everyone was freaking out on it. I think, it's weird what people go on about online. People freak out, or they start comparing it to Marvel, and you're like, well, it's... I don't know. Some of it's like people are insecure. They like their thing, so they don't want your thing to be any good. So people talk about your thing. So what they'll do is say that your thing's shit and theirs is better. And then they'll throw in a doubt about your thing, with different fandoms. And that's what happens. And you see it all the time. You see it like, with the new Batman. People go, oh, it's going to be better than Ben Affleck, blah, blah, blah. all right, but if you didn't like it, don't like it. Watch yours, or we'll watch ours.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's always going to happen. It's always going to happen. But no, I didn't get on that. I was just mate. It was probably the longest few months of my life waiting for that bloody film to come out. I was again. Was it 27th of March? Wasn't it 2016?
Yep, March. Yeah, it was 26th over here. I think
I saw it about 20 or 30 times in cinema. I loved it.
It was a savage.
If I had 2 hours, I was at the cinema, mate. Okay? But I remember, right? I always used to go on my own because I ain't ever known going, hey, what's going on? Or did you see that? I'm like, shut up, I'm watching it. Like, it's serious shit now. I've waited months. I want to watch this film. So I'll go on my own. I always got a premiere night. My own, no family, no friends, me. Go and see it. I'm not having someone distracting me or it's when you're excited for it, you're watching it. I remember watching it, it's fucking brilliant. So then at the time I was like, right, you've got to come with me now, you've got to come with me, you've got to come with me. So I used that as an excuse to see it again. Yeah. So you can say, well, I may have seen it 20 times, but 10 of it I was showing other people.
Yep.
And I remember taking my oldest daughter and my oldest son, because they liked Man of Steel, a bit they were younger then. So my little boy, my daughter at the time, she would have been 5 years. She'd be about 12 or 13. So she was understanding things. My little boy was like 10 or 9 or 10. So he was just like superheroes fighting. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I remember when I took her and him, I was sat in the middle. He was there. She was sat there. And she's quite emotional. And I kept looking at her every now and then thinking, like, because I knew what was coming up, especially when the parademon went outside the brilliant to watch. I was watching them themselves, but when they were having the fight at the end, and obviously Superman had the second dose, and he kind of succumbed. He was kind of knocked out with the sink, wasn't he? When Batman picked up his head, it looked like he was going to Zod him.
Yeah,
I remember thinking, like, no, what? Like, and he can't die. It's Superman. And when he did that and put him over his shoulder, I looked at my daughter and she was crying. She was absolutely sad. She was crying because she's going to kill me if she sees this. She's 18 now. She was crying like, oh, Superman, he's going to kill him. Oh my God, Superman can't lose. Oh my God. Like, it was like she was so emotional about the whole thing. And then obviously threw him down the thing and he landed on all those radiators. She was just, oh my God, I can't, oh, Dad, no. Oh no, he's dead. Like, I was like, it's a film, don't worry, but keep watching. Don't worry, Superman. And obviously then with that film again, the ending. Another part of my favorite film was the ending again, because it left you with that fucking hell, I want more, and shit, what an ending, with the mud on the coffin and just lifted and then cut off, didn't it? And my daughter was like, Is he dead? And I was like, she went, well, the mud started to move. And I went, what's that tell you? She went, I don't know. I was like, well, he's obviously not dead. He's coming back. And it was like, but she was so engrossed in it. And that was like a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Who saw it. She watched all the Marvel films she did. So she watched all them because, so I was trying to like teach her, the more grown-up stuff. With that, although I can't really say too much about Marvel, can I? So she got engrossed in the story and she understood it, and the kids liked it. They thought it was cool. They were gutted Superman died, but they were like, wow, thank God the world's safe. Woo, and it was emotional, wasn't it? With the mourning around the world and stuff. So they really got it too, and it was good to watch them have that. Like, it was an emotional connection, wasn't it? That movie, probably one of the best films ever made. That film, got to be,
absolutely.
And it's so cool. But I remember take various different people to see. That's my MO. If I really like a film and I want to go and see it 100 times, my excuse is, well, I've got to go because they haven't seen it,
Yeah, they the ones that want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
do you mind watching it again? I'll put up with it. I might go get some popcorn or something. I'm like, they're going, watching it like I've never seen it before. It's sad. I told you I'm a geek sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But no, that's wicked marketing.
All right. So BVS comes out, right? It's great. We're all loving it. You know what I'm saying? But here is where we get to the juicy stuff starting to happen, right? The reaction to BVS after it came out. All right. Now, when you were watching the masterpiece that you were watching, right? You know, and the same thing that I was watching, I saw a masterpiece. But the backlash to this movie was quite the stir, and it was pretty much the talk of Hollywood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Might still be the talk of Hollywood even to this day, right? But how did you feel when you initially started to see the backlash to how, you know, I mean, to the release of this movie?
I was confused. Like, what did you not see the same film? That's my kind of feeling. Like, what part of that wasn't good? Like, what? I didn't get it, and I think I thought early on, like, it's impossible. I've seen it, and I watched it again, and I watched it again, and I watched it again. And I'm like, still really good. Like, what? What are they watching? Are they going into the wrong screen? I mean, what the fuck? And then I quickly realised everyone who was complaining was saying the same thing. It was scripted.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
It was the same thing. It was like someone went, "Oh, have you seen Batman and Superman? No, is it any good? Don't bother. It is shit. Oh, is it? Have you seen Batman and Superman? No, but I've heard it's shit. Don't go and see it." And it's the same message.
Absolutely.
And someone started that, and it's a mixture of the studio, I think, because they wanted it to fail. Some people did. But also it was. I think a lot of Marvel fans watched it and thought, "Damn, that was good." And it's a threat to their own. It's their own thing. Like, it's like, oh shit, we got competition. Like, this is great, and I felt they had to dislike it because it wasn't part of the MCU. So I think a lot of the outrage was faux. It was very.
It was like the cool thing.
Forced hatred. Yeah, it was like cool. Yeah. Batman, Superman. No, I wouldn't watch that. Like, Social Circle was secretly going and watch it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, Batman, Superman, it's shit. DVD on. That's what it felt like to me. And I remember there was a policeman I worked with, a younger guy than me, and he was pretty cool. It's this black guy, and he was very cool. I remember him. Just the way he spoke, he's very to the point, and he knew everything was going on. He was down with everything. He's one of the very few people I could talk to at work who watched comic book movies. Who wasn't like, "How old are you?" Watch an epic or something. Nah, mate. You can watch both. You can
like Spartacus.
But he was awesome. Like, he was on a different team to me, so we'd see each other like in the building. Like, I'd be finishing, and I'd go, "BVS is still brilliant," and he'd be go, "It's shit," and we'd be this thing going across. But it led to us actually having, like, when we were working together, breaks together, and having long debates over why I thought it was really good and why he disliked it. And after a while, for our conversations, I remember him starting to change a little bit. And actually, it's not that bad. That's just that, but I still think it could have been this. There's something missing, and then, but it still doesn't seem to have that spark as the Marvel ones, because he liked the Marvel as well, but he loved DC as well. He's in between, and I remember his bloody name. Brilliant, love that guy. One very few people I actually miss because he was cool. There's nothing worse than talking about your job all the time, is there? Right?
Oh, nothing worse.
It was just like someone I could talk to at work about it and like geek out in the corridor, about looking like a child. And but we got to the thing, and we started to, and then when it came out that there's the Ultimate Edition, I couldn't see him for ages. Where is he? Has he left? Has he moved? And I was like, I need to find him.
Yeah, I got to hear what he got to say. You know what I'm saying?
I was actually going around asking, "Have you seen? Is he still work here? Is he moved, transferred somewhere? No, I might be on holiday. Oh, fucking hell. Dare he have a holiday? I need to speak to him about this film." And then eventually, when I caught up with him, I said, "Listen, I think I've got the solution. Those things you said you weren't sure about, turns out they fucked the film half an hour. And so, whereas I thought, okay, it was brilliant. Having now seen the Ultimate Edition because it's out, I now think it's even better. I think watch that, you're going to go, yes. And he was like, oh, no, I don't think I want to sit through it again. I've seen it before, and I've saw it twice. I did watch it again, and still, and I was like, mate, you've got to watch I went on and on for months. Watched Ultimate Edition. I even used to email him. Ultimate Edition. Computer. And I was like, and eventually he came to me one day and he went, so me and my wife watched the Ultimate Edition. Yeah, man, that shit was good. Wrong? Was you wrong? I still love Marvel films, but that was really good. And he went, that should have been in the cinema. I went, yeah, I know. And that was his words. That should have been in the cinema, because if that happened, he wouldn't have believed the bullshit. He would have gone, no, I've seen it. It was good.
Yeah.
That's where the manufactured hate comes around. It seems to be big business these days to put out, like when back in the day, it was like much marketing, wasn't it? It was film. Critics said this, but no one really cared what the critics said. It was just what people talked about, wasn't it? It was like people rave about a film. Most critics would agree with it, and that would be it. It was a film. Nowadays, this misinformation marketing. Straight away when there's a film coming out, it's like it's got a Bizarro character somewhere who's doing the anti-marketing.
Yeah.
Every fucking time there's a film coming out now, isn't there? You just let people market a film. Watch it. If you don't like it, don't watch it again. Don't buy the DVD. Don't watch it on telly. But if you liked it, brilliant. Buy the DVD. Watch it as many times as you want. Watch it when it's on telly. But now it's like people have to be able to say that film's shit. I don't like that. I prefer mine. You should watch mine. Fuck off. We don't want to watch yours. Or I might have seen yours and I liked it, but I still like this one. It seems that you're not allowed to like something anymore without someone wanting to bring you down or say, well, it's not my favourite. Like,
it's weird. It's very weird behavior.
But there is an anti-marketing campaign now. And I think, conspiracy theory aside, it's probably not far from the truth of what happened after that film with everything that was going on in the studio. Yeah, and
I think it's pretty safe to say, right? I mean, just even seeing how Warner Brothers went above and beyond to try to sabotage Zack Snyder's Justice League after it was announced that it would be coming out. If you can just take all those things that happened and you could extrapolate that back to 2016, 2017, I absolutely think that there was some sort of something going on back then.
Yeah,
right?
They were trying to reboot it whilst not rebooting it, whilst it's almost like it's like they had it's like a group of friends who kind of there's one of them they don't really like, and they kind of want him to voluntarily stop getting involved so they can do it their way. But he wouldn't stop getting involved because he was the leader of the group and it was annoying, and I really want to be the leader of the group, so how am I going to get him out politely? Because I know it's shady what I'm doing. And that's kind of what it was almost like, wasn't it? And yet it was a lot of backstabbing by the sound of it, and a lot of behind the scenes of twisting and pulling. And obviously, as we now know, it started in BVS, didn't it? In the post of that, which is why the film had that Ultimate Edition thing. And it's so shady. I still can't believe it happened, because in a day and age now where everything's accountable and everybody knows you've got to treat each other with respect, and it doesn't matter about race, religion, sex, and all that stuff, because it's just people, which is great. You would think that they would, only a few years ago, it's not like it's a new thing, is it? It's been at least 20 years now. Everyone's realised actually we should all be nice to each other, professional, and it was weird that it was happening. And I think partly that's why a lot of people are like, nah, it can't be right, it can't be true, because it's too bad. It's too bad. Like that shit don't happen now. 50s, 60s, maybe 70s, probably. Just not now. We wouldn't do this. It's much more professional. They would, I don't know. And you don't know what to believe, do you? So I think when it all was happening, it was really shady to the point where I don't know. And then when you started hearing things about Justice League, I just thought at the time, this is just them people again with the anti-marketing.
Yeah,
it's just people put you off.
I didn't think there was any way possible that they were going to redo that movie in 5 months. No. I'm like, what? I'm like, they're gonna reshoot, re-edit, rewrite. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. The Justice League, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
Really, isn't it? Otherwise, they'd be popping films out every month, wouldn't they? They're that easy to do.
Exactly. I was like, yo, there is no way, but no, where there's a will, there's a way. All right. So look, now I want to get into, just like where were you mentally going into the release of Justice League? Were you still excited at that point? Right?
Yeah, of course. Because I mentioned now that there's no way that can be true. It's too bad. It's too shady. This day and age, I was maybe a bit naive and gullible to believe, because as far as I'm concerned, like, people wouldn't mistreat people like that, surely, and especially in a giant studio where the whole world would see it, and if that got in the news, it'd be a big story, and it's not on the news mainstream, so it can't be that bad. Maybe it's
there are no trades talking about it, right?
Yeah, maybe it's the bloggers talking bollocks as usual, or trying to like make out they know what they're talking about, and I didn't know what to believe or who to believe, and I just thought, you know what, it's gonna be Zack Snyder's film. If there's any things changing, they'll do an Ultimate Edition like they did last time.
Yeah,
it'll be okay. I'm sure it'll be fine, and I was looking forward to it. I was really excited. Obviously, it's a flipping Justice League film, isn't it? First time ever, and like it's a continuation. And from what we were told, it was Zack's film. And when it started, it said story by Zack Snyder, directed by Zack Snyder. It's fine. It's fine.
Which is super shady when you like really look back. It's
that's so naughty. But I have a theory that helped him by doing that. I think they fucked up by putting story by Zack Snyder, directed by Zack Snyder, because I think that gave him more rights to have a director's cut. Because if they had put directed by Joss Whedon, we would never have got a Snyder cut.
Oh shit! See, there go another.
Would we? Would you think? Would we?
That's
I don't know.
true.
Where would he have legally stood?
That's true.
So they've kind of
they sealed their own fate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But I was super excited for it. I was so excited for it that I convinced myself what I saw was quite good. And people still hold that against me, going, "Look at your tweet. You said you liked it," and I was like, "Yeah." I was so deluded myself into believing that it was good. It wasn't as good as BVS, but it was still a Justice League film, and it was still by the same guy. Maybe that was the plan. Maybe it's supposed to look that way. But I totally believed it. Even though I was thinking grainy footage at the beginning, and I thought, even I made excuses for that. I was like, it's got crappy old Nokia phone, because they're little and they don't have an expensive phone, so it's just bad footage. I put it down to that. And his face at times was looking a bit funny, and I'm thinking, I drank too much? Am I a bit pissed? Are my eyes going? It was just weird. But then it was like the same actors, and and it started off with Superman still being dead, and Wonder Woman was there, and it seemed still true, but it left me with nagging things that I had to go back and watch it. Not because I wanted to go and watch it, because I was excited. The second time was when the nagging started to come in my brain. They're thinking something felt wrong. Like I liked it, but I think I'm telling myself I liked it because I really loved the previous ones. Am I supposed to like it? Has he done a shit film? Like,
he's asking all these existential questions. You know?
Yeah, it was like, so what the fuck? And then I took my sister along because she hadn't seen it, because the first time I was going my own. So there's no, I don't go to every film, but when it's something like this, I'm like, it's tunnel vision, me, screen, in the room on my own. I ignore the other people; they don't exist. And sounds a bit vain, a bit greedy, but that's how I see it. It's just like this is a moment. Here it is, starts. You know, and you're in the zone for them 2 or 3 hours. But I took my sister along, and we watched it, and I was like, in the car, we sat in the car, and she's going, I don't know if I like it or not. I don't know. And I was like, I know. It seems worse than I've seen it the second time. And what the fuck? And then I was like, where did his suit come from? He had a hole in it last time I saw it. Where did it come from? And I remember saying to her, and it really bugged me, like, where's the suit? And I started thinking to myself, the detail in the other films, the attention to detail, was spot on. Why isn't it here? Like, and it nagged, and then you start hearing what happened, and then I was like, you bastards, they got me. And then, still being an idiot, a little glimmer of hope when the DVD was coming out.
I remember that too.
I was thinking, oh, thank God, we're going to get the
What was it? Justice League Extended Edition, right?
Like BVS, isn't it? Normal theater and Ultimate. I thought it's going to have theater and Ultimate. This will fix it. No, it was just that 2-minute bit with him walking through the spaceship. That was it. Oh, great. So he went and got a suit. Why weren't that in it? And then I'm thinking, why wasn't even that in the film then? And we now know that's because it was a very big scene of his dad's talking to him and him making the decision of which suit to wear and flying up in a black suit. Do you know what I mean? We now know that's why they cut it out. And they put it in the DVD as an extra for 30 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever it was. And even then, but you're thinking, why didn't they use that? Because it seems obvious to show him getting his suit. Because we all know he had a giant hole in his chest. You know, it bugged me. And then when I found out, I never watched the bloody thing again. I thought, you know what? How it's insulting to the viewer. You know,
yeah.
They made me believe. I believe the big executives at the studio were making public statements in trades and stuff. Zach's friends coming in. It's going to be Zach's vision. I thought, you gits. And then you find out, obviously, about the whole situation with their family, autism and things. You thought, you what? They fucking used that to do that, and it all came to me, and I was like, you bastards, that is fucking low, all for money, and that is wrong. I'd rather be poor and nice than fucking rich and horrible. It's like, what? How can you? They've obviously got kids, and he's got kids. They're people. Like, everyone does a job, but they're at home, they're a family, they're normal people. Everyone's a normal person. Like, how can you be human and use that and do that and still have a smile on your face and go, yeah, we've done a good thing? You didn't. And they're trying to steal his job at the same time. That, for me,
and forcing the actors to kind of like lie about what was going on. Yeah, it was crazy.
It pissed me off, I've got to say, and that's why. I mean, it really pissed me off. It kind of consumed like 2 years of my life thought process. That every day I was like, anyone listen? Do you hear about what they did? They did that. That's out of order. Poor Zach's lost his child, and they're still playing that. It turns out they're doing the shit they did in the last film, but this time they're really going for it. And now, because he's gone, because he fucking wants to be with his family, you're full steam ahead. And now you're doing this, and you're lying to the public. Even the trailers on the TV over here, coming soon to the cinema near you, not one of those fucking clips were in the film. Not one. They were advertising a product that didn't exist, and they continued to do it when the DVD was coming out. And I remember this time I knew. I see the trailer and go, that's not in the film. That's not in the film. Let's own it now on DVD. No, I'm not, because... And that's another thing where I thought, maybe there's a second disc. And then when I realised they wanted, I thought, you lying bastards. They used his name, his reputation, bits of the film they didn't want to use to promote their thing and get money from it and try and make billions. You know? That
they were actively trying to push him out and say that they didn't want it, right? Like, it's just weird.
Of a child, isn't it? That's what they did. So it's super disrespect. It's awful. I fucking makes me angry. You know, in my time in the police, I see so many dead children in accidents and things, and you never forget about it. And then, obviously, as a father, you fucking, it affects you, bothers you. And then you see something like this, like cinema and film, it's an escape from reality, isn't it? And then you find out that the makers of these things are the baddies, and that they do that to things that mean something to you, like family and children and things. Mate, that was all the motivation I needed every day to go online. Fuck you, you know. Release a Snyder Cut, release a Snyder Cut. And I thought, and bear in mind, I'd started doing the acting by then. I was like, well, I don't care. I would rather be a nuisance to the studio than go, oh, can I have a job? I don't want to work for them like that. Do you know what I mean? It's disgusting. I'm getting annoyed now because I'm trying to think about it anymore because it consumed everything, because I was so determined to get some justice for everyone, because it was like I felt like I'd been tricked, conned out of money, because I bought all the shit, didn't I? I was like, yeah, fucking ticket, merchandise, fucking DVD, fucking posters, you full on into the trust of it, and then it's only a film at the end of the day, and yet worst thing imaginable happened to a family. If you worked in a company or with people, the welfare of your colleagues is like important. You stop everything, don't you? Are you okay? Can we help you? We do everything we can for you. Come back when you can. You would, wouldn't you? Well, from what most decent people, but that didn't happen, and it's wrong. And they ran with it, even when it came out, and people started talking for years and years. And even to this day, I don't think any one of them have said sorry. I don't think anyone acknowledged what happened, what they did. Even when HBO came along, they didn't acknowledge it really or apologise. And so far, the new guys haven't. But early days for them, but I think they will. I think they're going to acknowledge it. And I think they thought by releasing Zack Snyder's Justice League, Snyder Cut, that would be enough to go, sorry, you were right. Move on now, can we? Nah, it's not good. It's not. And I think that's why the fandom kind of split, because people went, yeah, we've got the film, thank God, move on. Where everyone else is super invested into this story, and the last 5 or 6 years of the previous movies we spoke to, and then Justice League, and then everything that happens, and then the fight to get it, the proper version, because it wasn't just about seeing the film anymore, was it? It was about actually getting the guys' fucking work done and acknowledging the shit that they went through. So it was about that. But now we got that. Hang on a minute, the guy had unfinished, the drawing boards that they put out. They're still doing it. They had a display, didn't they, of his storyboards? You're like, are you going to make it then? Like, are you still trying to use his work to divert attention from the fact that there was that film? You're pretending the success of that film was meant to happen, and that now it's a trilogy.
Right.
But there's a lot of people in the fandom that have bought it, and I don't say anything, but I refuse to buy the trilogy box set. Because it's
I haven't bought it either.
I'm not going to, because they're just milking money off us again. They don't care, and they're also trying to say it's a trilogy. Move along. We won't say sorry. So no, it's restored the Snyderverse now, because that's all that matters. If for them, they got to acknowledge it, and they never did. And I'm glad that Toby's gone, and I'm glad that Walter and that's gone now, because a decent human being would have said sorry, even when they've left. So they're not bound to protect share values and all that stuff. I actually think if they acknowledged it and then corrected it, it would have been a big publicity thing for them. They would have had brilliant PR.
Huge.
Acknowledged the fault, got rid of the bad people, learnt from it, and moved on, and embraced and apologised, and was now this great company. They tried to do it, but the WB Good, remember that? Yeah, no, that was just like. It was like lip service. It's so wrong. When a company does lip service, they don't really care.
Absolutely.
It's the same for a lot of things. A lot of companies jump on bandwagons now. I was in California a week or so ago. It's Pride Month, isn't it? The flags are everywhere. And I said to my missus, I said, bet you next week you want to see a fucking flag there. They won't care next week. It's up now because they want you to think they're nice. And that's the same thing with what they did with WB Good. They don't really care. They want it to be director-led studio. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It's almost like a Freudian slip, isn't it? It's like, we're a director-led studio. Not really.
Yeah, we're a filmmaker-driven studio. Yeah.
All that. But that's what irks me most now. I'm glad he come out. I'm glad for Zack and his family that they know that real people had their back and cared, genuinely cared about their life, not just the film. And then it's out there now, and all for the actors involved, the crew, like being on a film set, you wouldn't believe. Like, I could be standing there acting, and it's me and one person in this pretend room, but there's about 100 people watching you.
Yeah.
I mean, There's people out on a light thing holding it, waiting for you to move. And as soon as they say cut, the funny thing is with the crew is they could be building the next set, and they're waiting for you to finish. They quickly carry on and start sawing a bit of wood, and then they stop. Because they want to get the next bit ready for you because later on you've got to go into there, and everyone's on the go. All that hard work, and it was just disrespected like that. And it's one cancelling and releasing a film and it never be seen, but to Frankenstein it to death is just, it's despicable. I don't know, it's Despicable Me, it's Gru, isn't it? It's all the minions. It's just, it annoys the shit out of me. Honestly, I don't regret anything I ever did in this release of Snyder Cut bit, because we were right. We were absolutely right. Like the time and effort that we all put in. I remember being up till 3 or 4 in the morning online, talking to people, planning things, organising things because of the time zone gap, and the New York Square and Project Comic Con and the football stadium thing. We were doing so much work, but no one cared that we had real jobs or real lives to do, or we weren't getting paid and all that. We were doing it because it was so right to do. It was the right thing to do, and it was nice to meet people. So yeah, they need to say sorry. Even the new people who don't need to say sorry should say sorry on behalf. They should acknowledge it. They should restore the Snyderverse, and as a thing, they should publicly. Maybe it's coming. There's been a few clues in there, but someone's got to. The mainstream media, I can't believe they haven't picked up on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty crazy when you think about everything that's happened, and the fact that it hasn't garnered any mainstream media attention to this point. It's just really insane. But
I remember all the news articles. I've done so many interviews for like newspapers and other LA Times, Business Insider, and other big major. I had phone calls, interviews with them about things, and I thought at the time, this is good. This is going to get some mainstream attention finally, and they kind of talked about it, but then they were talking about what we were doing.
Yeah.
We were focused on what we were doing and not why we're doing it.
Yeah.
There was no, why are the fans so pissed off? Let's talk about what the fans are saying happened and what we do know that happened. But all of these trades, they wouldn't dare really report the full story and focus the story on what happened to the Snyders.
Absolutely.
A few words, Snyder's daughter, the death of the family. Look, fans, it was all about what we were doing. It was
like he has a personal he had a personal tragedy, and then that was it. It was pretty much just like the little tragedy throwaway line. Yeah.
Although it really helped everything, and obviously we wouldn't have put the pressure, wouldn't have worked, because it was getting negative PR. Because every film they had, people were like, what about that Snyder Cut? It became a thorn, didn't it, in their foot, that they couldn't move. They couldn't talk about Shazam without someone asking about Justice League, or they couldn't talk about Wonder Woman 84, where it's called. They couldn't do any of that, so they had to. It was pressure, but it would have been better pressure and more morally better to actually for the mainstream to pick up and talk about why there was such mistreatment. They go on about this Me Too and in the film industry, and obviously that's right to do, but surely welfare for a family, profiting on a child's death, it's pretty fucking demonic, that, isn't it?
Crazy.
And that should have been the story. And then when the film came out, that should have been the story, isn't it? Look at this film that's out. Did you know? Bang! It should have been all over. It should be as bloody on the news as Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, shouldn't it? It's worse than that. This is death and suicide and family and mistreatment and then Gal Gadot comes out about talk about her experience.
Embezzlement, all kind of stuff. Like they were pretty much embezzling money.
But they won't take it on. They won't go with it, will they? And I'll tell you why. It's all about access.
Absolutely.
All the way. They're scared to report it, so that when they have their next big blockbuster coming out, say like Avatar or something like that, they ain't going to get asked to come and see it. They ain't going to get asked to report on it. They're not going to get, the story that they can then use to generate clicks or newspaper purchases or advertisement. It's so corrupt when you think about it. It's such a system now that it's naughty. It's so naughty. It's like, if anything, it'd be better PR for them to go, yeah, Ray Fisher has said about racism. Fuck, it happened. We are so sorry. You're fired. Sorry, Ray. Really sorry. You know, we agree with you, blah, blah, but they didn't. And the guy still says out Kevin being entertainment. He still says it. And that investigation was so badly done. I mean, God, just in my experience in my old job, you know that you wouldn't investigate something like that because it's not impartial. It's got to be impartial. It's got to be truth. It's got to be full access, you know, and the report's the report, and that's it. It's fucking unreal. It pisses me off, to be honest with you. It makes me angry every time I think about it. It's probably why I stopped doing podcasts, because I was getting really.
I feel it, yo. No, like, but I do want to make this point clear for anybody that thinking that this access stuff is like not really real. What Will is saying, I know a personal story of the LA Times giving a bad review to The Last Jedi. That outlet was then not able to cover Infinity War when it came out. So getting on the wrong side of some of these companies can literally affect your bottom line, right? Infinity War was about to be the biggest movie ever, right? And the LA Times could not cover that movie because they had put out a negative review of The Last Jedi. So these things absolutely happen. They absolutely happen.
It happens the other way around as well, that they will be anti something to get, like in the scenario of Warner Brothers, they, with all the stuff that people were saying, whoa, this is really wrong, Warner Brothers need to really bloody look into this and fire a few people and apologise and correct it, because they could have done. It's not everybody at Warner Brothers, it was just those few people that were in powerful positions that pulled the strings, you know. Because obviously Warner Brothers is a good company. I'm not going to lie. They're one of the best studios around. You know, I'm not just saying that because of the job, but they are. Look at lots of films that have been out over history. They are one of the oldest ones. You can't deny that. And they put out some great TV shows as well. But in that section of DC films, they screwed up. They screwed up. And someone hired that should have come along and gone, I'm fucking out. You know, and sorry on behalf of everybody, but they didn't. And that really fucking pisses me off. But what you found was the people who were saying it doesn't exist, they were towing the line for accidents. They weren't given bad reviews. They were just not reporting on it, or they were reinforcing the toxic narrative of fans. They were reinforcing that no, their fans are wrong. That never happened. It was like, if you denied it all, you got the access still. You know,
absolutely.
A good example would be Zachary Levi, the Shazam guy. That video, no, it doesn't exist, and laughing because at that moment in time, he'd just been given the role of his life, and he didn't want to jeopardize that. So, what's the corporate line? Okay, I'll go with it. I'm not saying he lied knowingly, but he weren't going to have anything bad said about him. He would have just probably would have heard about it, told it ain't going to ask. It's just fans' pipe dream. And he went with it and said it and laughed because he thought it was stupid, not knowing the truth, perhaps. You know, I'm not trying to make excuses for him because he should have since found out and gone, sorry about that, I was wrong. But they don't, because they don't want to miss out on number 2, number 3.
Yeah.
Gain favour because those bosses are still there. Well, not now, but they were still there. So they had to watch out what they said because you lose it. And same with the reporters. Remember that time that geezer interviewed Jason Momoa and he went, the Snyder Cut's not real, is it? And Jason was like, I've seen it. And he was like, oh shit.
He's like, oh, so the VFX weren't done?
It was like, because he was going with it. Because how did he get that interview with Jason? Because he always went along with the line. He followed the line. So when he asked Jason, he expected him to go along with it because he's one of the cast and they should probably toe the line. But he was in a very powerful position at that time because his movie just made $1 billion. He was the main lead actor. They wanted him back for number 2, so he had more freedom, didn't he, to speak up? Absolutely. He was able to say, actually, that was wrong. And the studio, what are you going to do? be. I don't think so. And I think that gave him the power to speak. Ray Fisher, he spoke up because, you know, that was his breakthrough role, you know, and he's doing other, but he's obviously a decent guy, and he would rather risk his career and speak up than just toeing the line. I think, and that's where the integrity comes, isn't it? And the accountability over entertainment. It's what it should be. It's no, I just don't know. It's funny that the film's called Justice League because it's been all about getting real justice for lots of things. And yes. I can't believe that his story ain't racism at a major Hollywood studio. What? Like, it's tumbleweed. And the farts. Oh, the news! Isn't it? It's like, you know, she talks about carpet. So, racism. What? Isn't it? It's why. And it's because the truth will come out. And then the story will change from the racism and go to all of it. And that is not what they want, because they can't report on that stuff because they'll all be in the shit with access to future work. And they'd lose their power. And it's so corrupt. YouTubers do it, not saying you do, but there are a lot of them. You know, there's obviously the good ones, and there's other ones that will just talk shit, or 1 minute they'll be like, "Yay, Snyder Cut," and then when that's no longer the favourite of the month, yeah, that was a bit shit. Anyway, what about this? What about that? And then they start going back, and they flip flop, back and forward, back and forward. Grace Randolph has done it. I can't believe she did that. I actually thought she was one of the decent-ish ones. As soon as she's had her time with Zach coming on a couple of times,
that was it.
She's flip flop, flip flop, flip flop. It ain't happening. It is happening. It ain't happening. I was wrong. I was right. What? Like, YouTube channels and YouTubers, people like you and people who do these kind of things are in the best position to speak the truth, to talk freely, because you're not a mainstream media outlet. You know, there's no boardroom, there's no corrupt, you know, multi-millionaire businessmen who own the thing. It's just the freedom of what happened to the freedom of press, eh?
Yeah.
Press, it's a
myth. I think on the content creator side, I think a lot of that stems from like why they got into this thing in the first place, right? Because I have no expectation of like ever like really making any money off of YouTube, right? I literally just started my channel because, you know, I've been in this community for a long time and I was always taking content in, but like, you know, after we got the Snyder Cut, I started to see that, you know, a lot of the places that I had went to get this information before had kind of like, you know, doing just like you said, it was flip-flopping, and it seemed like there was no more need to cover the Zach stuff. And so they were just kind of like, you know, part of that move on crowd and saying that, you know, we should start moving on. And I'm like,
they talk about it.
Right? Absolutely. I do want to ask you this because recently when I started my OG Talk series, right, you know, I've been having a lot of talks with people that was behind the scenes for a lot of this stuff. I actually found out that you played a much larger role in all of this than I initially thought, right? So can you speak to, like, right, getting into the release the Snyder Cut movement and just like, you know, some of the things that you've had a hand in throughout these years, because I've learned it's been quite a lot, you know what I'm saying? So I want you to kind of expound on that.
Yeah, okay. The reason that you thought that is because there has been, for at least 2 years now, a certain select few who took it upon themselves to smear and discredit a lot of people who were OG, as you say, in the early stages, and people that did do a lot because the best way to explain it without sounding honourable, the old power corrupts and absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
Yeah.
That line was in Batman and Superman because it's kind of translated into real life a little bit, because a lot of people gained notoriety or fame, or followers. People look up to them, boosted their egos a bit. And when when all the work was starting to pull through and the film was obviously coming, the ball was rolling down the hill and it wasn't stopping. People started to want to kind of own it. They wanted to kind of go, when this
I'm the reason why the Snyder Cut came out, you know.
A lot of people base their whole social media existence on it. Like their sole purpose online was to be part of it, or to be a Zack Snyder fan, or you know, it's almost it kind of partly stopped being about release of Snyder Cut and justice for Autumn and Snyder's and all the meaningful stuff that we all did it for. And I'm not saying none of them didn't feel that, but I think the drug of followers and the as Peely would say, Zach Crack. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing it poisoned people a bit, and they became a bit. Ooh, I want the reward. I want a bit of power. I like this. What am I going to do when the film's out? People, what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? Who am I going to have people look up to me and go, "Oh, well done." It's kind of like that. Like they were seeing the end of the road and thinking about their business plan. That's kind of what's the next stage. And I think that's why it started to revert into the Zack Snyder fan club, as opposed to release the Snyder Cut movement, going suicide awareness prevention and restore the Snyderverse. It started to mutate, and then people's true colours started to show quite a bit, and they would start filtering out little lies and little narrative twists. And you know, did you know that person's like this? Really? That person tweets it. Third-hand hearsay, and then it goes round and round. And before you know it, you tell a lie. If you tell a lie enough times, it becomes fact.
It becomes the truth. Right? Yep.
And then people go, oh, like, Will, ain't you? Oh, you're not very nice. Apparently, you know, what? No, have you not? I don't give a shit. If people don't like me, they don't like me. I don't care. I used to be called wanker every day at work. Do you know what I mean? I've had people spit at me and shoot at me. I don't care if someone online says, well, thank you. I don't care. But my existence on social media is not for just this. I exist on it because it's me, and I use it to interact with people and for work. Obviously, I'm not going to lie about it. I use Twitter for networking, for acting. It helps. It really does. And
speaking of that, congrats on getting engaged. By the way, I saw that too. You know what I'm saying? That was that wonderful job, sir. You know what I'm saying?
I proposed to her while she was in Alcatraz prison. She says no. I'll leave it. If I can't have you, no one will. Thanks for that. No, it was it was pre-planned. I was umming and ahhing when, where, how, finding the right moment to do it, but it came. So thanks for that. Yeah, appreciate it.
Super.
Yeah, that means I've got to plan a wedding now. Yeah.
Oh man.
I hate all that. Flat. Chairs. What colour the chair's going to be? No, just sit on it. You know. But what if I wear this? I'm just waiting. I wear a suit and tie. I'm turning up.
Yeah.
I don't care about where someone sits. It's hard work weddings, isn't it? But anyway, that's coming. But what was I saying before that?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, how people just wanted to become the owners of it, so that when it was released, and people went, "Oh my god, it's great!" Oh, it's like they did it for praise, reward, and clout. That seemed to become a big thing. People said clout, and so there's this myth. I'm one of a few people who almost have been written out of existence in this, and those of us who can't be fully written out because it's too hard to do because we were there so much, there's been like a false narrative going around about us. Did you know that this is not actually, and it's coming around and around, and I have a cycle on Twitter where it comes up. Will. I get quote tweeted by people I never know. Will, you did it? I'm like, and sometimes I ignore it, sometimes I reply, like today, and then it disappears again. And it always just comes up every now and then. And
usually around something big happening in the news too, like, which is also very strange. You know what I'm saying? Like,
whenever something's going to happen, or there's been something good that happens, me and Billy used to call it the pattern. It was the pattern where, like the misinformation bad thing, people who wanted to take praise or clout or something, they would come up with a reason why what we're doing isn't good, or twist what you say or what you do to actually mean something else. And these people would go into DMs, start saying, "Did you know Will said this, or Will did this, or Will thinks this, or Will, or Fernando, or Fiona," and lots of other people, or Pili, or Ramesh, Koj, Lex, they this, because we didn't toe a line. We didn't toe the corporate line or the new movement corporate line, because we were like, we shouldn't say that, we shouldn't do that, so I don't care about clout or fame. I did it because it's the right thing. And so now when you hear him, like you said, I didn't really know you did all that, that's because they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know what I did, and they don't want people to know what I did, because he actually devalues what they did a bit. They're on a pedestal up here as being these saviors, like these. Oh, you're a hero. If it weren't for you, The reality is they clung on the toenails of everybody that did the work, and now they're like, it's because of us, and it weren't, and it wasn't because of me. It's everyone who donated money. It's everyone who tweeted. It's everyone that helped, because we could have gone, we need to do this, and people would have gone, no, I'm not giving you money. And it wouldn't have happened. It's everyone, which is why I was so glad at the end of the film where it said thank you to all the Snyder Cut movement. Because if it had said a few names, I'd have been mightily pissed off, because no one's name should be on that film. Because it's not about us. It's as a collective. Yes, that was the right outcome. And I hope that was on there. And I hope no one tried to ask for anything else. It wouldn't surprise me if they did. But that's why you don't know. And Fiona, bless her, Fiona was the original OG. She had, like the studio, people have taken advantage of a health condition, and they've taken advantage of a situation to promote themselves and better themselves. So when she was very ill, and she still is very ill, from what I last heard, she had to take a step back. And as a result, she said to Zach, "Oh, this person's good, this person is doing this person's doing that." And it kind of, and that went to a lot of heads. Like, they're starstruck, like, oh no, I've had a tweet like of Zach, I must be famous. He must be my friend. It's a bit weird, some of it. So that's why it's rewritten out history, but it's to the point where Wikipedia was changed multiple times, but they're too stupid to realise it leaves a scar, it leaves a trail. There was the ForSnyderCut.com website, which had the timeline of every event of everybody. Yeah. Whether you like them or not, whether I don't like or they don't like me, we're all on it. It's a timeline of events. So what did they do? They brought out SnyderCut.com. But you had to pay for that. You had to subscribe to that. Do you see what I'm saying? There's two websites floating around. But it was the first website for SnyderCut.com. That's the one with all the history on it. So anyone who hears things or don't believe anything I say today or anything like that, and I've said before, just go on that website. It's all there because Fiona owns it. She may have gone off social media now or don't care anymore, away from it all, but it's all there. It's all there. It's all there. And they can't. But what they do is they say, "Is there a website?" Yeah, it's called SnyderCut.com. Okay, go on there. No mention. But the real website is for SnyderCut.com, and they belittle everything. People started to. There were people that weren't around until the end, and suddenly they were like, the Faruqi brothers who made a documentary. Well, at the beginning they did a few tweets, nothing for 2 years because they want to be journalists and they couldn't rock the boat with trades. But when it became trendy because the film's coming out, boom, there they were to make a direct documentary containing most of the people that actually didn't do anything. So, when I say don't do anything, I'm talking absolutely planning stuff, actually arranging stuff, doing stuff, and actually working with other people to make it really happen.
Absolutely.
They are the people that did stuff. They may have done this or there, but no more than many other people. but they want to make. There's a group of people who think they want everybody to know that they are the pinnacle. They are the ones. If it weren't for them, wouldn't have happened. But that's wrong. There are so many people who you don't hear of. Not just me. I don't care. I don't really give a shit, to be honest with you, that people don't think I did anything. Because I've got that DVD now. Do you know what I mean? I know I did what I did for them, and I know I helped raise a lot of money for charity. So that's it, isn't it? Who cares? I mean, I didn't do it for fame. If I want fame, I'll get it another way. I don't care, and I don't want to be famous. I just want to be that guy. Who's that guy in that film? I've seen him somewhere. That does me perfectly. Don't care if they don't even know my name. I've had it before. I've come out of 2018. I was filming at Warner Brothers, funnily enough, in Burbank. I was there for a few months, and I came out the gate. Sometimes there's people there for autographs, and I was like, "Oh, autograph," and I was like, "No one knows me," and I go, "Oh no, well, if you want." Like that. And this one guy went, "Yeah, oh, I know you. You're on Amazon. You're on that." And I was like, "Fucking hell, he does recognize me."
Right? Yeah.
Like, but that's enough. That's it. I don't want nothing else.
Absolutely.
But some people, it's all they've got. It's all they're letting me. That's it. It's sad, really. And that's what's happened. So you probably, my name won't be mentioned unless it's negative by a huge section of people, and a lot of people went along and followed the narrative because they wanted what was happening. It was a lot. If you're seen to like go along with the Will didn't do this, Fernando didn't do this, Fiona didn't do that, but we did this. We're the heroes. If you go along with that, we might get you followed by Zack Snyder.
Absolutely.
We might get you on a Vero stream. One of the people in the Q&A. It's very reward for access type thing, and it's very culty when you think about it. And that was happening a lot, And certain that announcement, Vero call, right? I've said it before. I'll say it again because I cracked every time I think of that. It was a brilliant day. I loved it. Watched it. I was one of the lucky ones.
May 20th, 2020. Yep.
I was one of the lucky ones who saw it a few days early. They tried to get me off of that, but Fiona spoke to Zach. What the fuck are these people not on it for? And then they emailed us the link and said sorry, because they didn't want us on there. They didn't want us to be noted as one of the people that got to see it. It's really bad, and these are supposed to be people like us who just wanted the film to come out and wanted to correct a mistake. It got awful, and ironically, it's similar to what the studio were doing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Giving people lying and just making out that they are something they're not. And I think, but to be honest, I think they genuinely believe their own stuff. But then that's all they've got. They live off of it on social media, and it's sad. So that's why I thought. That's why it's the first podcast I've done well over a year. It's got to be at least a year. Yeah. I even stopped doing my own stuff because I couldn't bother. I just carried on with life, carried on with work. I picked up lots of acting work and stuff, and I've got a lot of things I'm signed up for, which is great. One in particular, some things that I've got lined up. I happened to be in Pasadena a few months ago, and I happened to see it.
Pasadena, that's a very triggering word lately. You know what I'm saying? So
I happened to be there, but I'm not allowed to say who with because it's work. But I was there legitimately to have a meeting, and I happened to take a picture of a building that I saw because I thought, "Oh, look, that's that building." Just like
I was going to get into it, yeah.
I would outside of a fucking palace or a castle or a film studio. I was like, "Whoa, look, that's where they made that." But apparently, that's weird.
Will, you know that you were outside of Zack Snyder's house trying to take pictures?
Yeah, it wasn't his house, but people don't realise that. They can't differentiate between work and home. I know exactly where his house is, but I would never take a picture of it.
It's actually funny because I saw some people that were very pro release the Snyder Cut back in the day actually making fun of your whole house thing recently. And it's like, it just, if these people were to be believed, right?
Mm-hmm.
One, because look, there was one moment that you kind of had in this movement that really always stuck with me, right? Personally, you know, and that was the can I speak to Mr. Walter Hamada, please? You know what I'm saying? That was like legendary stuff right
I
there.
got through.
Right.
I got through. I couldn't believe it. It's like 4 a.m. here. I remember that. I just thought, you know, fuck it, I'm doing it.
Absolutely.
What's the worst that can happen? They hang up.
Right. So these people would have us believe that that's pretty much all that you were responsible for throughout this entire movement, right? And you know, as I've gotten a peek behind the curtain, you've had such a hand in all these things, man, and raising money and putting together these damn events and making sure that everything went smoothly. And I just want to personally thank you for all of that work and effort that you put in, because you know, had it not been for you guys back then, you know, we really would not be where we are now. And you guys helped change the world. You know what I'm saying? So all these people trying to make fun of this little stupid bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Don't let them have you thinking that, you know, that you guys aren't really loved, because you absolutely are.
No, thank you. Appreciate that. I mean, it's just silly. I think I kind of tweeted it earlier, but the reason they want to constantly try and discredit me or make me look to be stupid or weird or not important or anything. So I'm not important. I'm no more important than you or anyone. It don't matter who you are. Everyone's the same, even them. But it is sad, but I think it threatens them in some way, because if the right people listen to me, if the right people see what's on my phone, because I save everything. I used to be a policeman. I know how to record evidence. Yeah, I know I know what to save and what not to save. I've got so much stuff, just in case one day, just in the case someone ever says something bad about me that's particularly bad, and I can go, that's not really true, is it? Yeah, you know, I've got it there, and that worries them. It worries them so much. They don't want me to get too popular, because more people might listen, more people might hear what I've got to say. At the end of the day, it's been and gone now. It doesn't matter. I mean, it used to piss me off. I used to want them to like be found out, and now I just think, hey, you're sad. That's all you've got. That's all they've got now. You know, I'll give you an example of. I list some of the things I was involved in. The phone call I did off my own back because I thought it was funny.
Hey, which was great. Hey, I cannot let that be understated. That was such a great moment, yo. Like, he was like, wait a minute, somebody actually fucking got through to Walter Hamada's office. Like,
I'll tell you why. I had a cunning plan, right? I'm thinking, I'm English. Americans seem to like our accent.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Like, if I'm on the phone and I make it sound like a business call, my accent might distract them enough to think it's genuine and not a crazy, oh, can I speak to Mr. Walter Hamada, please? I thought, or hi, I'm a fan, can I speak? No, fuck off. I wanted it to sound not related to anything other than work. So I was like, hello, can I speak to Mr. Walter Hamada, please? This is Will in London. I said, the office in London. I didn't say which office. Their office, couldn't it? I'd have to see it again. It's on YouTube somewhere, isn't it? You know, I couldn't believe it. I was like, and then I didn't know what to say. I was thinking, oh shit, I have to be honest now, because I have to tell them the real reason. But it got through, and I think that helped a lot of people think, wow, we can do something now. We can do things. We might get through to these people. There's a chance if we can speak to these people and say, look, mate, fix your mistake. You can do this. You got the power. They had the power. They always had the power to fix it. And sometimes it's good to say I was wrong. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If I'm ever wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. Whatever, fine. It don't matter. You don't learn otherwise, do you? If you don't admit your mistakes, you got to grow. It's a journey, isn't it? Like we was talking about Jeff Purdy, he always goes on about a journey, you know. And you got to admit if you're wrong. If you fuck up, hands up, shit, done wrong. I'm pretty sure I've said sorry a few times for some things I've said or done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, But there's only so many times I'm going to say sorry for the same thing. So it gets to the point now where I just wind it in. It's okay. Or I'll ignore it, or I'll just go for it. And I did that today or yesterday. I think I did. I turned a screw, and it worked. It really worked. They reacted, but they think they've got the win. Actually, they haven't, because I still know what I know. But unlike them, I'm not going to advertise how or what it is I do know. I'll just write it in such a way, which I have done. But I do know for an absolute fact that there are people concerned about how much contact, how crazy people are. I've tweeted many years, many times over the last year or two about John Lennon and Mark Chapman. Yeah, the man who murdered John Lennon, super fan.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with some of these people. I had years ago, a few years before Michael Jackson died, I met him, and I had to look after him for a while because he got himself in a bit of trouble. His security lost him, and I had to help him. Obviously, I was at work. But oh my God, that was my first experience of fans who were just like, oh, it was like puppies. It was like, Jesus Christ, hello, I'm here in front of you. There's lights on my car. It says police. You need to listen, because hello, like, oh, it's like, Jesus. What they would have done if they touched him, I don't know. They would have torn him apart. They wouldn't have considered themselves that they were physically touching the man. Do you know what I mean? And he was terrified. He had kids of him, and I felt so sorry for him, because they had to have that every day of his life.
Every day.
Every
I actually heard that.
With fans, you shouldn't have so much. There shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. And I know, because I've been told that people are looking out for him and are really concerned about some of the content. And yeah, and I said enough in my tweet. But I knew there was a chance. There was a chance that they would have been invited to the studio. They would have worked their way into getting a picture inside that studio, because I took a picture of it on the outside. They had to be seen to one up. I knew that, so I fed them with the. Funny, they only get to meet in public places and not in homes or anything. And within seconds, bang, there they are inside. The pictures were on, but they fell for it. They fell for it because what they've done is publicly Sozak and his family. They want to use him to promote themselves, and they fell for it. So stupid. I knew it. Like, they don't think I know people. I don't talk to people. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like super important, but people talk to me, and I can keep a secret, and I can, you know what I mean? It's so obvious, and they're gullible, but it just shows that their insecurity of having to be seen to be the important chosen ones, and they're not. You know, it's weird, but crack on. You've had dinner in there. Have I ever been in there? I'll never say. Yeah. Have I ever been somewhere else? Never say. But I know where things are. But it's not for me. It's not for me to play these things. And it's using someone. I have all these pictures in your office. That sole purpose of that I put on social media is to flex.
Yeah.
Look it up. Told you Will, you listen to. It's not real.
I was just about to say, because I've been watching this whole thing with the pictures and stuff as well. I've been getting tagged in it too, right? One, I want to say that it was masterful getting them to tweet out what you wanted them to fucking tweet out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we over here playing 3D chess.
I also one before I forget to say it. I also wanted them to admit it wasn't his house.
Yeah. Because
of my previous post when I got accused of being outside his house. That's why I put, at least we all agree now this is not a house.
Right. Nah, but there,
see.
Some people, even content creators that was Restore the Snyderverse, you know, all that, right? They were even trying to say, hey, but I thought it was a house, right? But look, what's so funny is that throughout all this, right, throughout all these tweeting of the pictures and putting that stuff out and tagging people and gloating and all that stuff, Will, did you see one hashtag Restore the Snyderverse in any of those posts?
No, I'll tell you why. Because they don't care. they are a Zack Snyder fan club. They only wanted to get close to him and access to him. That's why they go. That's why they push for the. It will be a TV episode. Well, that's following the corporate line, isn't it? That's devaluing the movie. That's not actually getting the movie released, is it? It was always a film. And even if Zack was tempted to do it in sections or chapters, I think he was trying to appease the studio by breaking it down. So they didn't have an excuse to say it's too long. Well, he broke it down. So when on streaming, people binge 4 episodes. So if they can watch 4 or 5 episodes, that's the film. It was appeasing to get. He was working a way around to get his film out. But they're really heady on it, and they even talk about shame we didn't get a series. I don't want a fucking series. I wanted the film that I paid to see 5 years ago. I want a film, a ticket. I feel like I've now got value for money for that ticket now because I've seen it. And because he's now on doing Netflix stuff, and there was like one of them said like, oh, in about 10 years' time maybe, and what you don't care anymore? You're satisfied with that ending? Satisfied with the cliff ending at the end, and the epilogue, and you're satisfied, you're happy, it's going to finish trilogy, and the trilogy box set. No, it's not finished. We all know there's another 2. It's a 5-story arc. Zack told us many times. He released
Pentology,
big gold T-shirt, didn't he? He told us on stage. Why now? It's because you think you've got access. You think you're his friend. Yeah. You think you've got something in common with him, and he's your buddy. No, he's just a director, and he's feeling grateful to some fans, and he's been somehow believed, because, like you said, you didn't know who done what where, that these people are taking all the praise and glory for it.
Yeah. Look. Oh, go ahead.
No, go on.
No, look, I was going to say this, right? Because where I started to really, really notice what was kind of going on, you see, because I had got locked out of my Twitter some years back. So I was pretty much only engaging with the Snyderverse stuff on YouTube, right? Yeah. But what I would say is that time period where there was definitely a push to get Fiona out of the movement and out of the community, there was a thought where I really was like, yo, if they can push Fiona out of this community, they can push anybody out, right? And it almost seemed as if like Fiona was like the test subject to try to kind of make sure that they got her out, because then once she's out, then almost anybody's fair game to be like minimalized or whatever. So can you speak to that point as well?
Yeah,
too?
Definitely. We were saying at the time, like, the biggest threat to their hostile takeover, should we call it, is was Fiona. While she was away being ill, getting treatment abroad, they left them, didn't it? It left them to say, well, and stop talking about her. And they don't like saying her name for a long time. They really avoid saying her name, acknowledging her for a very long time.
Very weird. Very weird.
Do you remember, what was that thing called? There was that thing online where Warner Brothers did a big, show.
Fandom?
Fandom, that was it. Yeah, I forget what the name of it. She was on that, wasn't she? And they fucking hated it. And there was that one where Zack had tweeted out different images.
And he gave the one for Fiona. Oh, my God. There was
one from Fiona. They put the collage of all of them, but they cropped her name out. It's the only one with her name cropped out. They edited Zack's work. So it didn't highlight to the everyday fan who that was. It's almost unnoticeable if you don't know her name's there. Yeah, but they did that, and they can't deny that. They can say, oh, it was a mistake. Well, why? What a coincidental mistake that was. They hated it when she was on the thing, the fandom, because it was like, there she is, and then you had Dexter on it from their group, and you're like, all these things that I have been part of planning and organising, never spoke to the guy. I don't know who he is. I don't know who he is. I know his name. I know he's seen as one of their group on their t-shirts with all their names on, but I've never known. I don't know what he's done. I don't even know what he does for a living. I don't even know who he is. I just know what he looks like, and his name's Dexter. which is a cool name because I like the show. But other than that, I don't know what he's done. I couldn't tell you what he's done. He didn't tell me. Nope. So yeah, if I tell you what I know I've been part of doing. So going back, start early as I can, back as far as I can. It's been so many years now, isn't it? I think one of the first things I did was the phone calls. That was cool. I liked that. Went to SnyderCon, and everyone was waiting. It was the first time in public. I think been in public, and it was like someone's got to ask about something. And no one did. Some geezer asked about Spider-Man. Everyone was like, "Who said that?" It wasted the last question. I was annoyed. Everybody queued up to meet Zach and Debbie and everyone that was there. And I was thinking, well, I'm going to ask him because I'm not coming with it. I flew from London to Pasadena that night and flew home the next morning. I was going to be there. I thought, I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss him saying something or finding out something, you know. So when it got to me, coming like speaking to him, I said to him like, so when I did say, does it exist? Obviously it does. I said, when's it coming out? When is it? And I live tweeted it at the time so that it was recorded, so I didn't forget it said a bit of a thread. He basically said that it's real. It's got a little bit of tweet on the CG, but you don't own it and you can't release it. You don't have a studio. Something like the characters that are copyrighted, it's their thing. It's his film, they own the characters.
Yeah.
So I remember I tweeted straight away because I don't know if anyone else has bothered to ask. It's like, it's the real reason everyone was doing it.
Yeah.
So that my account went through the roof. Obviously, people started liking, retweeting, following, and that kind of got my name out in that kind of fandom thing more than anything. Even though I'd been kind of active before, so it's hard for me to think the timeline without actually looking at it properly. But that's how I'm remembering it. And then everybody that was got together then kind of had a chat room on Twitter. We all started talking about what we need to do. Now we know 1,000,000% from his mouth that it's real.
Yeah.
We can tell if anyone says it don't exist now, we can just go, mate, he sold us off these. That is disproven. That narrative is gone. It doesn't exist. You know, then people must be so embarrassed that they put it so narcissistic. They don't care. All those journalists that don't exist. But so what we were talking about doing something. I think San Diego Comic Con was due to come up, and we were talking about maybe we should arrange something like, should we get a stall? Should we like make an impact? Should we do something like advertise or something? You know, and then there's probably about 5 or 6 of us. We kind of made a separate group. So let's use this as the where we communicate, because obviously we're all over the place in the world. And it was me, Jeff Purdy, Pilly, I think Koj, Eric, Nerd Queens, I think Mick from TZ was in the chat. They rarely spoke. I'm really sorry if anyone's watching and I said their name so long ago. But there was like the main people that were talking about it. And then we talk about it, and in the end, I was like, can't do this without money. We need to raise money. So I created the GoFundMe. I thought, it's not. We keep talking about it. We need to crack on and do it. So I made the GoFundMe.
Yeah, I have been trying to dance around that, but hey, this man Will was like almost like the treasurer of like release the Snyder Cut. You know what I'm saying? From what I've been told.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. There must be something I've done before this, but people seem to trust me with it. So
it's your accent, bro.
Oh man, really, shouldn't I? So I done that. I got it going up and running, and I said, "It's there now. It's real. We have to do it. Can't stop talking about it. We've got to crack on." And we did. We got into planning. People started making calls, and people that lived in the area would would look into this for each other, and we would coordinate every night. My night, we'd coordinate in the chat group almost every night for months, leading up to the planning of this. And then when we found out Warner Brothers weren't even going to be there, people were going, what's the point? And we're like, no, this is great. How embarrassing. Because we'll be there, the fans, and it'll be really public. Where's Warner Brothers then? It would make them look even more stupid for not being there. Because they're not, and they wouldn't be there to say, oh no, that's wrong, because they wouldn't be able to lie. They wouldn't be there to defend themselves.
Yep.
It's just us, or as a fans. So I kind of we done loads of things, like there was the designing of the. I think that we ended up from Comic Con. We ended up getting an airplane going over Hall H when everyone was queuing, so it's like most people would see it. And the idea of it was to take it out of the bubble of us fans, but to let it go like across to other fandoms like Star Trek, and MCU, and general public, because we thought that they would, being human beings, have hearts, they would hear the real story of what happened. That not only was it fucked around, but obviously the whole family situation, and that people would go, shit, that's not good, and then they'd talk about it, and word would get out. It was a way of releasing the truth. So we did. That was the aim of it. So we thought airplane banner, bus stop. I love the
bus stop ad. Yeah, that was legendary.
The road sign board, and we wanted people there handing out leaflets, and we got so much attention. We had it in stages. Like, we want the airplane, it will cost this, but obviously, every time we'd done money before, it was 50-50. So if we needed to raise $1,000 to pay for a sign, we'd actually need to raise $2,000. So we can give 1,000 to the AFSP. So it was always raised double, so we could do the charity as well, because that was, if anything, the charities get some help from it. Even
Absolutely.
If we get so that was the plan, and so we carried on doing that. And up with many a night, long bloody night. And I always remember a lot of times it was me, Eric, and Lex, just the three of us online. It was stupid o'clock in the morning. I had stuff to do in the morning, but I just didn't want to sleep because the time zones were annoying. And we were designing posters, thinking of phrases and words and what to say, and then we'd put it to the group, and they're all back and what they thought about it. And it was a proper like collaboration, But so I'm not saying me, because it weren't. But I did kind of oversee and make sure, because I had that thought that like money is there, and I need to make sure it goes the right way. I need to make sure it pays for the things. I need to make sure it does go to the charity, and we have to stick to what we said it would be for.
And who better than an ex-military officer and a police officer? You know what I'm saying? So,
no, do you know what I mean? It's like I wanted to make sure people trusted us, and that we'd not only do the job with that money, because some people were messaging me, I'm really sorry, I don't have enough money to feed the kids, but I can give you $1. And I'll be like, don't worry about the $1, just feed your kids, but just tweet it. # Project Comic Con, please start it. Do that. If you can't do money, do it that way. And it was horrible. But then it was sad, because you see people wanted to do more, they couldn't. But then you have people come along and they're like that. Thousands, and you're like, like Hamad, my God, Hamad.
Oh,
if
yeah.
If it weren't for Hamad, most of the events that you know of probably wouldn't have hit the target.
Yeah.
To get done. But the group of people we were talking about earlier discredited him, and he's now known as the guy who bought himself to the Snyder Cut movement.
Yeah, weird, we actually talked about that on his episode of OG Talk.
What the what? No, it's like the guy that put money in because he could and he wanted to. He was a legend. I remember he had a bit of a money war with Jeff, because Jeff put in a lot of money too. Jeff Purdy, I love Jeff. He's brilliant. It was like my phone would go off, because obviously the GoFundMe was on my phone, the app. Go ping donation. I'd be like, $50. Wow, $50. That's amazing. Another 20. Oh my God, 30. 6,000. What? What? And then it was like, what? And it was like ridiculous. And then we had at one point, we had like Hamad and Jeff trying to up each other, outdo each other, and I was like, this is we're gonna, and then we'd all talk. We're raising so much money here. Maybe we can do another banner or another thing, and that's how the bus stop came. It grew. We had these ideas, but we had to do it in stages, and it was so successful. I can't remember how much we raised, but it was definitely over $20,000, I think.
Yeah.
No, I remember it was just under 29,000 because we sent a check to AFSP for just over $14,000 for that one event. That was absolutely unreal, which meant we spent $14,000 on the advertising, you know, and the bus stop cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
It was across the Wall of Justice in San Diego, which was quite funny.
Yeah.
And the billboard was on the main highway or interstate as you come into San Diego. We had the thing going over. It was so successful. It's so mainstream, and it really, really got the media talking about us a bit. That was the biggest boost we had at the time. So that all happened, and then we'd do things like incentives. If I saw the donations were coming in slow, I was starting to slow down. I would make merchandise and then put a competition out online. Say whoever donates the most in the next hour gets this mug or they get this T-shirt, just to make it a thing. And then I made a trailer for the event, to release a trailer like for a film, but actually for what's coming at San Diego.
Yeah.
And I managed to contact. I recently found out Ray Porter was Darkside. It weren't public at the time. It was like he kind of acknowledged it, but didn't. But I got talking with him quite a lot on the phone, and I think his trust grew. That I wasn't just going to out him because he was worried of the DA. And in the end, I said, "Listen, Max kind of confirmed it now, anyway. So just blame him, you know."
Yeah, right. Blame Zach.
If Zach says it, then you can assume that it's public knowledge. So anyway, so yeah, I got Ray, and I asked him. I said, "You don't have to admit who you are if you're not 100% comfortable, but could you do a little voice audio for my trailer?" Did you ever see the trailer?
Yes, I did. Yeah, all this stuff is.
Do you remember? Do you remember the voice? I've got it on my computer here. I've still got the original audio clip he sent me. You ready?
Oh, absolutely. Oh shit.
Hang on. Where is it?
Project Comic-Con. Release the Snyder Cut.
How awesome is that? Oh my word, what's going on?
Oh my god, that's so great, man. That's so great, yo. That is so great. See, hey, look, just you're on mute. I can't hear you.
I said my iTunes just suddenly did kind of a big shuffle then.
Oh yeah.
In the iTunes library. But that's the original. That is the audio clip he sent me, and I added that to the video. And you know, we thought as well, a good little reveal and a bit of hype that to people that don't know that Darkseid was supposed to be in the bloody film. Not Steppenwolf, like not just Steppenwolf, but he was a henchman. Yeah, not the baddie. Darkseid was coming, you know. Like, Jesus, Darkseid. You know, move over Thanos, you're an ant. Darkseid.
Oh yeah.
We got the guy doing the sorry, like doing the voice, but without saying he's doing the voice. You know, it was brilliant. Ray really was brilliant. He always has been, like helpful and really right, you know. And so that was cool. That is what I played you, is the original.
This is so dope, man, because like it's just so great getting the behind the scenes peek at like all these moments that like us as a fandom that we saw and really inspired us and really kept us going. It's just dope hearing about how all this stuff came together.
It's fun doing it because we're trying our hardest to think of new things all the time to encourage people, because it's most people $20 here, $20 there is a lot of money, and they ain't gonna. Why would I want? I said to someone once, why would someone want to give us $20 if they thought it was not likely to happen? They've wasted their money, or it ain't going to be worth doing. Like when someone votes, they say my vote's not worth it. Of course it is. Everyone's worth it. Yeah. So every donation something, if you couldn't afford that, that's why a hashtag tweet would would help as much because it would help the algorithm. It would everything would help. Everyone was as equal as everyone else.
Absolutely, yo.
You know, it don't matter how rich you were or how poor you were or whatever. And that's kind of our like little philosophy in our little group of why we're doing it. It don't matter who's doing it, you know, and that's why a lot of us got really pissed off with all the clout and like the we did it.
Yeah.
You didn't, you weren't there. You know, it's why. That's not why we did it. And in our group chat of our Project Comic Con, Mick D would often chime in. I say often, every couple of months would chime in. He would never be part of the conversation, never be part of any of the planning. He would just ask for, how much is how much we've raised so far? And it'd be like, well, it's on the, have a look at the GoFundMe, but it's like at the moment $8,000. Oh, cool. And he was coming in with little bits of information, or he'd come in and go, what's happening? Like, and everyone was going, does he think he's the area manager or something? Like, and he's popping in for occasional updates. And we all started to think, hang on a minute, this guy is reporting back saying he's in the process of doing something. It's almost, it feel like he's getting the information, he's not doing anything, but he's going back, so, by the way, I'm overseeing this thing that's coming up. So far, I've done this, and this. Oh, well done, mate. That's amazing. Thank you. Yeah, no worries. And that's that's our first inkling of, okay, people are trying to move.
I was just about to get into that. I was about to get into, like, at what point did you guys first notice that things started to get a little weird? And
that stuff kind of happening. It was annoying. It was like, fuck off. If you want to help, read it. Sometimes we had a few people were like, Mick, just scroll up. I've been busy. Well, fuck me, so have we. We're taking our spare time to do this for everybody and try and make this work because it's important. So, sorry, but publicly it's, I'm a member of TPZ and we all arranged this. It went for us, and Zach thinks we're great because we did all this. No, you were compiling a list. The only thing I ever seen him do was every now and then put a post about how much money we've raised, or how much is coming, and which event done this. Go, Will, can you tell me how much this? Can you do? It's the compiling list that you could then present to Zach and go, look how much money we're raising. So it looks like they have been doing it, and we were like, let them think that. I don't give a shit. We're doing this. It doesn't matter at the end of the day, because notice they're not in any interviews. No newspaper interviewed them. No one contacted them for what have you been doing. It's all written in. It's all there if you look for it. It's in history. Yeah.
There's no video of them calling fucking Walter Hamada's office. You know,
there's no like interview about Project Comic Con, for example. They didn't do anything, and Mick was the only one that's in the chat. The rest of them, like they get reward by association or something. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like it's weird, and it's like, but we had Mick in, and because Fiona was away, Mick was speaking to, because Fiona was like the link between Zach and everyone. And when Fiona went, obviously off because she was really seriously ill, and I think she's still in. I need to check her to see how she's doing. But someone I know who does know her. It was that's an opportunity, a window door open for them. There were some people that would use speaking to Zach. I didn't do that. There was no point. I would just post it publicly and tag him, and he'd like it and acknowledge that. I didn't want to bother him. I didn't want to try and like email him and say, "Oh, by the way, Zach," it was just he didn't. The work will show. You know, he's got enough on his plate. You know, it's yeah. So we did that. That was a massive success, and it got a lot of attention, and it made the cause of everything we were doing go outside the fandom.
It kind of legitimized it, right?
It also brought other people in who
Absolutely.
like work who didn't know anything about the Ultimate Edition. He became aware of it and watched it and, oh my god, that's better. And it kind of like it widened the net of people, which got more and more people flooding in to get on Twitter and start doing it, or create Facebook accounts and start promoting things. And it got really big from there. And then what happened after that? And then I was contacted by Vinaldo, or Dr. Chris as he was known. He's been totally villainized online. He's the big baddie, apparently. He's not. He really is a doctor as well. So he's not an idiot. He's actually a doctor. no less. I think it's philosophy. It's something really, really smart. So he's a very clever guy, and he's a very nice guy. Yeah, he has trolled people, but he does it because he's so clever. He just leads them in, and he'll just say things they want to hear, like yeah, whatever, you go fuck off, like type thing. But behind the scenes, he's there. He's dedicated so much time to doing things, you know. And so he managed to, I can't remember how it was now, but he managed to find out that an FA Cup game, football, soccer as you call it, we call it football because you kick a ball with your foot. Not like you guys. Football.
Yeah, football, right? But the FA Cup is like our Super Bowl, and it's big, it's worldwide, and all that. So there was two Premier League teams, Sunderland and Tottenham, which probably don't mean nothing to you, but they're considered in the top league in Absolutely.
English football. But they were playing a FA Cup match, like to get to the semi-finals or finals, quarter-final, I think it might have been. I can't remember which round, but it was on telly. It was live on Sky Sports all around the world. Boom. And he found out from someone he knew that there was the digital display boards going around the stadium. He found out that for a very small price, or a large price, when you think about it, to advertising people, it's minute. But it was a window. There was a very small bit. We might have a little screen. We might get on there. And we had to raise some money. And he asked me, he said, "Oh, Will, this has come up, but no one really knows me because he goes under a different name. He doesn't. I'm Will, so it's me. But he's like has a handle, so he doesn't say his real name, and he doesn't want his real name public. But it's Chris. But the full name's not. That's cool. So Dr. Chris. He said, "Will, people trust you with GoFundMe's and things like, would you be able to get this going? But we've only got a couple of days, so we lose out." So I was like, yeah. So I wrote the GoFundMe out, put it straight out there, and within less than a day, we had more than enough money, while still maintaining the AFSP side of it. And that was amazingly somehow when it was on the game, the person who uploaded the computer for the advertising, they put it around the whole stadium, and it was going around and around for about 6 minutes. We got like £1 million worth of advertising. It was quite funny, but it was quite prominent because there was a certain part of the game where the camera was on the players and it was just there in the background. It was like a dream, like of amazingness. Like, wow, look at that, we did that. And even Zach tweeted the picture, but this is like epic because it's seen around the world, and it's like release a Snyder Cut, hashtag release a Snyder Cut at RT Snyder Cut and all that kind of stuff. And there's another side to that story I'll tell you, but that's separate. And I had the same thing for New York. We wanted to reproduce San Diego, but in New York. So obviously I was asked again by Gio. I think Gio was quite in on that one. See, I can't remember exactly who did what where because it's always the same few people. I feel awful because I've disconnected myself from it all for quite a while. It's hard to remember the timeline, but again, I did the GoFundMe for that as well. Then I'll get, and I kind of saw myself as if I did the GoFundMe, I just tweeted every day trying to promote, and just keep an eye on what's happening and do my thing. But I'd say I had less involvement in the planning of New York as opposed to San Diego, because it was more of the same. So it was kind of they were local and they knew what to do, and it was just a case of let's redo the same formula we did before. So it wasn't as, but that turned out to be huge as well. What was that? And I also went to Warner Brothers, didn't I, with some gifts? Do you remember that?
Yes, with the flowers and the teddy bears and all that stuff, right? You know what I'm saying?
Because of the phone call thing. I think this is way before. I think because of the phone call thing. And we were giving loads of people now started phoning up, didn't they, to the operator trying to get through as well. And because everyone started doing it after that. Do you remember? It was like, fuck yeah, let's everyone call Walter Hamada. And they clicked on by then. They had realised that they were getting through, and the operators were starting to get fed a script of how to divert a crazy man and not a man from an office in London. No, I think it was after I did my one because I got through. That was funny. It was. I still can't believe. I still remember my stomach going, "Shit, I'm through." I really didn't think I'd get that far.
Yeah. No.
Hello, water.
You could actually see the surprise. No, you could actually see the surprise on your face. Like, oh shit! Like, you really hadn't even planned on getting through. You know what I'm saying? Like,
go. But yeah. So a few of us thought actually should, as good PR to prove we're not toxic fans and all that, we should probably put some money together and buy a thank you card and some flowers to the ladies in the operator. We assume there's a room of telephones, the operators for Warner Bros. And say, look, we know you're getting shit. We know you have to say, toe the line because you've been told what to say, but we appreciate, sorry, we were bombarding you and putting extra workload on. And I was out in LA for a few days anyway for some work meetings. And I said, well, I'm going out there on this date, but there was some reason it had to be done on a certain day. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go out a few days early. I'll make it a bit of a holiday as well as work. I don't mind going a bit early. I love going to LA anyway, so why not? So good excuse. So I changed my flight and I went there early, and then I went around some flower shops. That was hard to find flowers out there. Funnily enough, I didn't want to buy cheap ones at the side of the road. I wanted to find a gift. I didn't know what to do. So it took me all day to find that, and I got a friend that was out there to help me film it. And we did the video, put it out, and I think it got through to them. I don't know. We had some cards, but even that, it generated some attention because people were talking about it, and people were watching the video on YouTube, and they were watching it, and it got in a few like outlets of fans donate, buy flowers, because they always say, oh, we're toxic. We're not. We just wanted something, and we've been polite and said thank you along the way. And every time we donate, I think that's one of the only times we didn't do AFSP because it wasn't raising money. It's just a few of us put money in together.
Yeah,
we didn't raise the money. We all put about $50 in each or something like that. I think we spent about $600. And stuff I'm carrying was expensive. Those teddy bears were actually flowers, which I found in a really expensive florist in Burbank. I think it was Burbank or somewhere near. Well expensive. I tried to explain what we're trying to do, but I was like, I can't be any clearer as a gift for someone we don't know. Well, what flowers do they like? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. It could be 10, it could be 20, it could be 2. Don't know. It's a studio. Oh, well, do you think they'll like this? I'm like, would you like it? That ended up saying to him, would you like it? I'm not going to buy you. I'm asking your opinion. It was a nightmare. I was stressing out. And then I thought, do we buy chocolate? Oh, we don't want to buy chocolate. What if someone's allergic to nuts or something? We were trying to think of everything that it could go wrong. Where it looked like Snyder fans poison off.
Yo, that's been the last thing that we needed is for somebody to have some damn peanut allergy and be,
Can you imagine attempted assassination of our secretary by crazy fans? That's what it would. We were like, God, I can't buy that. And obviously, I'm in America. Everyone else doing it somewhere else. It's me and my mate there. He had nothing to do with it. He's not on Twitter. He was just.
He's just there for the ride.
I told us just go with it, film me, and just help me carry it because I can carry it all. But in the end, it worked out quite well. Balloons and flowers and teddy bears and stuff and cards. We wrote one to his actual secretary, the one I spoke to, because she probably got the brunt first. And then the other card was to all the other ladies. And we did it. And we uploaded a video and it's all there. What else did we do? I helped Ben arranged the wristbands, Snyder Cut wristbands. Remember them?
Yes, I do.
It was Ben's idea. Ben W. He's been villainised because he didn't toe the line. So when people started saying, "Oh, don't talk to Will. Will's this, Will's that," a lot of people going, "No, he's not. Will's all right. Will didn't do that. Will never said that. I'm not. No." And I was even told to not talk to Dr. Chris or not do this, not do that. And because I said no, well, we can't. I even got messages from them. Well, how do we know we can trust you? I don't need you to trust me. Trust me for what? It was circles getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And it ended up with everyone in that circle barely did anything that I can recall. Anything of note is what I'm saying. No more than anyone else did. Like Ben W took that sign around Comic Cons, didn't he? Yeah. Mick done Dublin Comic Con twice. Oh yeah, and he compiled the list of how much other people had raised, and presented it as his own thing. But other than that, I'm not quite sure what they did. To be honest with you, I'm not saying they didn't do anything. That would be wrong for me to say, but they certainly didn't do the big main things. And that is a fact, absolute fact. A lot of people started seeing through it. Ramesh used to do all of our graphics because he's a fucking genius. I don't know how he does it. I wish I could draw. Ramesh De Silva. He just went, he deleted his Twitter. He had enough of it. He was in, and may as well talk about the Snyder Cut account now, aren't we? The Twitter account.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. People think I'm an admin. I've never been an admin. I never have been and never will be because I don't want to. Because I can't be asked with my notifications, let alone 50,000 people's notifications. They follow me, I follow them. I've worked with them. I know who they are. I know who they were. But the whole point of that account was to be anonymous. Not anonymous. What's the word? Anonymous. That's the word.
Yeah, anonymous.
It was originally Dr. Chris, Fiona, and Ramesh, and the TPZ people wanted to come in, so they were allowed to come in. They didn't create it, they didn't start it, but there were rules to the account of how it should be run. If something should be posted, it should be agreed on first. Blah 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 blah. There's rules. Remember they put their rules at the top a long time ago. Like the code, and it was all supposed to be above board, friendly, professional, promoting, and it was really good. But what happened was, and again, they would report back, "Oh, we run that account." Do you? And what happened is that things were going on when Fiona wasn't around, where they started to step up. Whereas their votes would be like, well, there's more of us. We all think we should do this. And it was like, but no, actually, you're a group. You get one vote over the other.
Yeah, right.
It was a lot of bullying was going on, messaging back and forth. Really, really horrible stuff. Some of it's been put online, some of it's not. And it was really, I didn't have to do it, but I've been shown it and told it because I looked into it. When I was being told, never speak to that person ever again because he's la 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 la, only listen to us. And I was thinking, well, I got to think for myself, for starters. And normally when someone tells you that, they got something to hide. So I'm going to ask the other person. There's always two sides to a story. Sometimes there's three sides, or four, and five. And it goes on, doesn't it? So I actually listened, and then I saw shots and receipts and emails and everything. And based on the two sides I'd been told and the evidence in front of me, I formed my opinion, like I would if I was a police officer. And I thought, I'm pretty sure that I'm leaning more towards this truth over that. And because it didn't fit the truth and I didn't agree with that side, that was it. I must be bad too. Will's already bad. Will's don't Will's friend with Dr. Chris. Ooh, Dr. Chris is toxic. Ooh, he said this and that. So I'm saying, see how it runs away with it. People think, and then they are hearing that lie repeatedly, and then newer people come along, find out about it, join and start tweeting about it, hear about certain people.
Just like the Snyder Cut wasn't real. Same thing, right? Same thing.
He's that guy that this and that. And it's like, well, okay, fine, whatever. They don't know which website to go and look for the forsnyder.com as opposed to snydercut.com. That they got in. And you have to subscribe, whereas the other one's free and accurate. So that happened. But what happened was the RT Snyder Cut account, the people that were the admins voted out the TPZ people because they started to break the rules. They started to post things without checking. They were going ahead with campaigns that weren't agreed on, or they were trying to promote things. There's a lot of things backstage, and they were basically trying to take over And I've seen the messages, so it's not about I've been told one thing and believed it. I've seen it as well. And as a result, a decision was made that they're out. So passwords were changed. Ramesh done his vote and then walked away. So he was out. So they stopped talking about Ramesh and say he's a great digital artist. It's just Ramesh doesn't exist. Fiona don't exist. And because Fiona was off being ill and Ramesh resigned and lives his life in peace in Sri Lanka now, the only person left that voted them out was Dr. Chris or Ronaldo, as people know him. So weird. Still there. Sorry. Oh no, it's not. It's just grey hair. I got old. So the only person that they could attack was him, and they did. And
yeah, I heard that got. I actually heard that got really. Zod Ryder, talked to me quite a bit about the Chris Ronaldo situation, and he said that that was some pretty nasty stuff.
Man, I'll tell you about it. Right, I was on the phone for him for 4 hours. The guy was almost in tears. The guy was suicidal at some points because of all of this. The very people who go around Zach's studio and post for pictures promoting suicide prevention and AFSP, blah, 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 when they are full well and know that they and people in their groups did what they did and treated someone that way. And they knew, as he told them, how he was feeling. They carried on, even on Christmas Day, bomb, 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 message. We're going to destroy you. You're going to be ruined. All these things are being said to the guy. That's bullying online to someone with a mental health, struggling with his own mental health problems, all while publicly going, yeah, FSP, we want to change mode of charity. No, it don't work like that. You can't be that. Do you know what I mean? It's bullshit, and it's because, and I think some of me thinks, and I don't want to think it, that they do the AFSP stuff their side. They might have their own reasons, but they've used it to their benefit to be a bit more like able to relate. Do you know what I mean? Like I thought we must be good because you know that we've helped with AFSP. Do you know what I mean? It's like using the good, raising money off good people to promote yourself, which is similar to the story by Zack Snyder when it weren't. So that happened, but then the first public slip was when the FA Cup thing came out, and Mick had an absolute meltdown. He was all right with it to start with because he was involved in the account, because he was still an admin. It had nothing to do with the planning of it, but in the planning, because Chris had managed to get this opportunity for us, it was supposed to be hashtag release the Snyder Cut and then Twitter thing and at RT Snyder Cut. The idea being is that people would see what's release the Snyder Cut. Oh no, I'll go to that Twitter address and see what it's all about. Isn't that not advertising? But because at that point when it was coming, they had just been locked out of the account. They were no longer part of it. They couldn't control it. They couldn't report back to Zach and say, we run the biggest fan account. We're the ones that are doing this for you. They couldn't do that anymore. They lost their power. And now, do you know what I mean? They lost that thing. So they were going, and Mick he tweeted it, and stupidly, because it showed how pissed off he was. Even though his pictures were epic, yeah, Mick had tweeted out something along the lines of, I don't think he should have had the Twitter account. It draws too much attention to the Twitter account. It's supposed to be, it should have said AFSP or something like that, because he was no longer in that account. It didn't benefit him having no access to the account where people would go to. So, and that's a fact. They can say I'm lying, but find his tweet. It's there. Look at when it's there. It's there now, unless he's deleted it. But I know people saved it. The tweet, that's the thing. They didn't like it, and that's when they started publicly saying and started to get people to unfollow the account by saying that it's being run by one person who's toxic, who does this, and this, and that wasn't the truth, because there are other people brought in to take over the admin roles. And I think I know who they are, but I never asked, they never tell, so I'm not going to. Because that's how it should be. It shouldn't be about who's in it. It's a fact, they wanted the glory, but they didn't use it to report back on something they're doing. I think the arts festival or something, there was other things going on that other people had arranged, and when they were out, they stopped promoting it. They stopped wanting anything to do with it, and then they started saying, "Look, the account don't know what they're doing anymore because what happened to this arts thing?" And then obviously they would contact Zach, "Can you hurry up with this thing?" And he'd go, "Oh yeah, here's the winner." And suddenly, it was, "Oh, damn!" They were trying to delegitimize the account.
Yeah.
There was a delay, but the reason there was a delay, Zach was busy filming, I think, or didn't have a chance to choose the winners. But it was kind of like, without us, you can't do anything. And it's like, we've been doing it without you. Do you know what I mean? It really got really bad. And like, anyone who thinks I'm talking bullshit, go on any podcast I've ever been on in the last 3 years, I say the same thing over and over again. And the receipts are all there. Ask anyone, it's all there. And it's really sad because, and they really went meltdown. And that account almost started to, but I think people have come around, and they are so. Since the film's come out, they don't really bother. They're more the Zack Snyder fan club now. There's a lot, so they don't really talk about Snyderverse. They've even said, "Move on, enjoy the film you've got." Remember that? Enjoy the film you've got.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Hang on a minute. I thought you wanted to restore 5-arc storyline that we all fought for and get his film out and then continue. No, they think they're friends with the man. They're now in a fan club. They're obsessed. Anything he does with this is going to be the next best thing. Oh, maybe in 10 years. It's like, no. What was your purpose to start with?
Yeah.
It's not finished. The job ain't done.
The job ain't done.
Don't get me wrong. There's his other film. It's great that he's got other work. It's great he's got other films.
Nice.
Looking forward to them, obviously. Rebel Moon, I'm quite interested in that. I hope it's better than Star Wars.
Me as well.
But I think people are going to look at Star Wars and slag it off because it's him. So it has to be really good. And look at the cast again. It's going to be great.
Yep.
But that's the kind of thing that's happened. And a lot of people have gone, okay. But let them take the clout. Let them walk around saying all this and that. But they got nothing else. They have to be seen to be. And lo and behold, ever since, and then you look at the. You remember I almost said it earlier, the announcement when it was the 20th of May, and all those people on Arrow. If you show me a picture of it now, I can tell you how each and every one of them got on there. They weren't randomly selected.
That stuff never is random.
Line. There was even one of them was sat there. I've never seen before in my life, but he was sat in Abdul's basement on Abdul's iPad. Abdul was one of the TPZ. He's one of the ones. He was the most abusive one, basically encouraging Chris to commit suicide. But
I've heard.
Pro-Zach, and he's having pictures with Zach. Either Zach doesn't know, or he's blind to it. He hasn't seen it. I don't understand. It's weird. It's weird. And I think nothing. Well, that's why I know that he's less and less stuff. Like he was so huge on that Justice Con. It was awkward watching it, wasn't it? They were like looked uninterested. They're going to fall asleep. They were tired, but come on, you're interviewing some of the biggest stars in the world, and they're on your show for free, and you can't be asked to stay awake and ask relevant questions. And it was really crazy. Almost like they were being rolled out of it was like rolling Zach out in a wheelchair, tip him out. Like, do this show for your fans. Yeah. Like, felt indebted to as many YouTube people as he could. But really, they were just using it to promote themselves.
Yeah.
Brands. It's wrong. It's not why we did it.
Yeah. There were like several real things that kind of was wrong with that whole process. One of which that us as a fandom thought, we all felt that Film Gob should have been a part of that whole process too. Seeing as how Film Gob was like,
they liked him, but he saw all the shit and joined in and said, "No, I'm not going to not friend this person." I was told who to unfollow, who to follow, who not to talk to, and I said no. And many of us follow, and those of us that don't, Phil Gob being one of them, suddenly became the pariah of the YouTube channels, and they all got together with their little clique and make out that he's some shit YouTube channel, but really he's hilarious and a nice guy.
Yes, Film Gob's awesome, man.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I forgot to mention him. But
oh no, nah, it is all good, Joe, and that's why I think that it is so important, and why I want to use my little bitty platform that I have, because Release the Snyder Cut really changed the world, man. Like, it really showed, right? Because this was a worldwide movement with people coordinating from all different places, right? All kind of putting their egos to the side, all for the greater good. And we were really kind of fighting like a multi-billion-dollar corporation that did not want to do what we were asking them to do. And so at the end of the day, when they bent to our will, you know, that was monumental. Like, I don't know about you, but I really got that feeling inside, like, yo, we can make a difference, yo. Like, we just did. Like, they really just gave us what we wanted, and we did it all legally, right? We weren't doing anything bad or harming for the people. And so,
and at the same time, raising money for charity. It's like, it was everything.
Right, everything. It was just really a great movement, and I feel it is super imperative to highlight those people that were there and actually fighting and trying to get this thing done. Because even with me being outside of, you know, these conversations, I like what you're speaking to. I saw it play out, like in real time, right? We didn't know what specifically was going on, but we knew that something was wrong and that something had changed. And especially after the cut got announced, there just seemed to be a huge shift in, like, you know, the fandom. So
do you know,
I think
around that time when they started saying the hashtag Us United, that was
I heard about that too.
Whenever there was a distraction technique to everything that was going on, they really pushed that. So if guys, I'm hearing there's a big divide in the fandom. People are saying, no, look, Us United. Oh, okay, it must be fine. You see what I'm saying? It's thing. The media do it, the politicians do it. I wonder really what most of them do for a living and what they've got, because they are very clever sometimes with how they distract it, and they are able to brush it off. The hashtag Us United thing was, a lot of people didn't. I didn't tweet it. I don't think I did. I did at first because I thought it was for the film with the line of movement. It was politicized, wasn't it? It was politicized within the movement to say, quiet. There's no divide in the movement. There's a very small minority over there, but everybody else is hashtag Us United. But that was bollocks. It was a big fucking divide. It was the Grand Canyon, wasn't it?
Yeah, and not only that, like,
questions being asked, why is there such a big divide? What's happening, guys? You're in charge.
Yo, and not only that, Mr. West Ashley brought it up that was also a hashtag that Joe Biden had just recently tweeted out too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I would be a little kind of put off too if, like, it's like, wait a minute, are you sure that this isn't U.S. United? You know what I'm saying? Because you're saying it's Us United, but Joe Biden just used this, and they're like, oh, nah, it's cool, and it's like, I would have been a little wary of that too. So I can totally see where you guys were coming from.
It was absolutely fake. Where they wanted everyone to say it, so anyone, you know, Zach's end, who starts asking questions of like, what's going on in the fandom? I thought we just got the film. Why is not everybody happy? And what's happening? Well, those questions are pretty dangerous if the truth comes out, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Actually make people's opinions change of some people if they realise what they've been told is not the truth and they've been using them. So the big push of hashtag Us United flooded everything, and it diverted the attention to there's a big massive thing, and the narrative was it's a very small divide and there's only a few people that listen. It's not a few people. There's a lot of people who, like you say, saw it, knew what or cared to find out, and didn't let some nobody tell them who to follow. No one tells me who my friends are. I'll work out for myself. You know what I mean? I'm not a kid. I work out myself. Like, I don't really know you, but I've got no reason to dislike you, so I've come on your show. No reason to say otherwise. If someone says to me, "You shouldn't have done this show," why? Do you know what I mean? They tried to do it with Pilly. They tried to they tried to make me not have any communication with Mr. S. Astley, Billy Swain. They tried to tell me he was bad. No, sorry, no, he's not. He's a nice guy.
Look, I would definitely say this. Since I started my OG Talk series, I've been getting a lot of pushback from people that I hadn't been having any kind of interactions with, especially after that Mr. Wes Ashley episode.
Oh, yeah, they hate him. They hate him because he tells the truth.
Yo, look. I talked to Kojay. Everything was cool, right? I talked to Hamad. Things started to ramp up a bit, right? Where people are like, "Hey, what the hell are you talking to this dude for?" Yada yada yada. Oh, he's this and he's that. I was like, all right, whatever. Then I did that episode with Mr. Wes Ashley. It went to an entirely different level, But as I said then, and I will say now, I don't give a damn. I'm gonna try to talk to each and every one of you guys that I feel like, you guys are like damn near superheroes to some of us, man. Like, y'all really don't understand, like, you guys' actions really kept us going, right? We didn't have a direct put in contact with Zach or anything of that sort, but like every time that we would get a little battle weary, we'd see something from one of you guys, and right, it would just keep us going. And so there's no way that I'm going to allow people to kind of usurp others that are a part of my community, as I feel, without me trying to do something to try to combat that. So this is what I do is I try to find you guys and bring you out, because all you guys' stories need to be told, and these things have to be said. And I just want to thank you for coming on here and really sharing everything,
I appreciate it. I appreciate you doing that, because it is good, but like people should know. And it's the more people know, the better. But at the end of the day, people should only know because it's the truth. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, does it? Because people can only cling to their level of clout for so long, and at the end of the day, their hearts what they did and didn't do. So they must just be empty when they know, unless they're totally deluded into thinking they really did do things. But not saying they did nothing, but they certainly didn't know no more. Thousands of people around the world who did little things here and there online or holding a sign up somewhere. We was even told at some point, like that we started to wonder. So I know we're trying to wrap up, but we were told at one point in events we shouldn't shout "Lisa Snyder." Why? Why?
Hey, don't be a nuisance, Will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't be.
We've put a sign in the sky. Don't look up. Like, these are the people that were supposedly fighting for it, but they did that. Is it, or did they want it to drag on and drag on and drag on so they can be these famous people with YouTube channels? And
damn, that's a great point, yo.
Why did you want it to drag on? Why was it? There was always a negative, and a positive, negative. So we were like, ignore those people. We're doing this. This is still going to happen. We were just putting it out all the time because it was bumming us out, and we were just going to bum everyone out. We had to. So when you said like it kept us going, well, we were keeping ourselves going too by trying to say ignore these people because they clearly have got ulterior motives. But don't worry, we can still do it. Fuck them. People should have did this, so they're wrong too. And we just keep going. And one journalist said, "How many years would you do it for?" I should do it forever if I have to, because
facts. Yo, oh my god.
It ain't hard to go hashtag release Snyder Cut, is it? It's not hard.
It's not.
And they can't stop you doing it. It's free. I mean, they don't like it, but there's so many people. I feel bad for not remembering everyone's name and everyone exactly who did what, when, and how. But it was so long ago. We did so many different things. But I really would recommend the 4snydercut.com website, because Fiona, one of the last things she made sure of doing before she focused on her health was to try and update the timeline of who did what, where, and how. So there's a record of it. You know, that's got to be as true a website as there is, because they can't change that.
Shout out to Fiona, man. Like,
I hope she's okay. And Dr. Chris, as well, he's got such a bad name, and I do some of the tweets we said, and I'm like, but he's from a place called Manchester in England, and they, you know, Oasis, Noel and Liam Gallagher, that's their culture. That's how they talk. It's not necessarily how it sounds. He's a fucking doctor of philosophy or something. He's a clever guy, you know. But that's how some people's language. We may all speak English, but we say it differently, you know. And
it was the same.
And you're like, oh, that sounds wrong, but it's not.
Yeah, like it was a very similar thing when they tried to paint Fiona out to be a racist.
Oh yeah,
like it was the same thing, and I'm like, yo, like, you know, everywhere doesn't speak with the same context as, you know, your country or whatever, right? You know, so it's,
and when you think about it, I think it was to do with monkeys, wasn't it? I think she was referring to. So I actually put a GIF of Zoolander where they both went into the office as cleaners, and they because they're so thick. They started acting like monkeys in a zoo who didn't know what a computer was. It's satire. It's comedy. It's like a metaphor-y. It's not nothing to do with anything else. She was trying to say that some people don't know how to operate things, and I can't remember what she said now, but it definitely weren't racist. It was definitely it was more like a way of expression in something about some people who are a bit thick.
Exactly.
Some people aren't as smart as other people. But there's nothing to do with race. That's not what she meant. She was trying to give it a context, but it read wrong, and that's it. And they berated her for it. But like, have you seen? They tried to say that Fiona was not really Fiona as well at one point because.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Hold on.
Clearly,
how do you guys even know that Fiona is real? Does she even exist? Bro.
Yeah. And I'd like to welcome on my friend Fiona. Hi Fiona, Zach. Yeah, that's definitely a real person. But like,
what about when Zach fucking tagged her in that Wonder Woman picture?
Yeah.
Oh my God, everybody got so mad, yo. They got so mad when Zach tagged her in that Wonder Woman picture.
I think he tried to. I think sometimes he was aware of things and he tried to, like, put a thing out to like make it better for someone. But I think was being told so many different things by people.
Oh, absolutely.
Knew what to do, what to say, and all that. And you know, they've done a very good job of making out to him that they are the saviors of everything and he owes everything to them. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Good luck on them trying to arrange the next one because they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it what we did, and we learned the hard way, and we were lucky. But I don't think people are in it now. I don't think people would donate that much money now. There's not. That was a unique time because of the whole circumstances at the studio and in their family life. It hit people in their heart more. Nowadays, you'd struggle. I think it's struggle, and there are so many plain banners now. It's not a thing much anymore. I hate to say that because it is hard work and there's a lot of effort goes in, and people raise money, and it is something. But when we started doing that kind of stuff, it was rare to have an airplane fly over a studio with a message that wasn't from the studio. Now it's starting to become a common thing, and other fans are copying what we all did.
You guys really laid out the blueprint, yo.
It has less impact now because it's the same thing, and you've got to keep changing. And that's why I think we focus on different things. But it is, I don't care. I don't care. I sometimes I like when I tweeted today, I felt cheeky and in the mood to do it, but I generally don't care normally. I let it go because it's just not worth it. Because I think it's a bit sad. I really do. It's a bit sad. Like they try and like, you know, they don't like I got. They tried to shit on me when they found out I was in the Batman movie. Oh, look, Warner Brothers Shield. No, I got a job. It just happened to be filmed by Warner Brothers, but it's not them. It's different people. Do you know what I mean? It's just a fucking little job, you know. I was in Doctor Strange 2.
WB Shield. Will, you're at WB Shield.
Now he's gone to Marvel. He didn't even fuck off. If I get an audition or a position, a very small part in a big film, I'm not going to go, nah, it's not my. I'm going to do it. I'm not.
It's Marvel. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really messing with this.
I'll tell you what. If you want to talk about that Marvel film, I don't mind telling you a few things of what weren't in the movie. They cut lots out of the film.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Hey.
There was more
OG talk number 2.
There was more multiverses being filmed than actually made it into the film. Because I know my character was in 3 or 4 universes that were numbered, and they weren't mentioned in the film, and you didn't see some of them. And I'm like,
wait. Let me just get this before I wrap up. Did you just say there were more multiverse worlds filmed than were actually shown in the movie?
Yes.
yo.
Because it's not. I can't.
There was a real multiverse of madness, and not just there's a couple worlds that we saw.
When you think about that film, they didn't visit that many universes, did they?
No, they didn't.
But I know what I filmed. I know what the set looked like. I know how it kept changing. And I know what the numbers were on the call sheet. I know my. I did some stunt driving and acting in that film. And,
oh my god!
And I had a route. I had a map of the set, and it was color coded to my lane, should we say? It's part of the way you coordinate a stunt, so you know where you are at a certain time, at a certain speed, and that, so it all misses and not misses. And there was 600, 606, 616. There was different universe numbers for what that was, and that weren't in the movie.
Oh my god! Look,
it makes me laugh, and it's like there's got to be a Raimi cut.
Look, let's hope, you know what I'm saying, that Will isn't breaking any NDAs. You know what I'm saying? Again? I said, let's hope that Will isn't breaking any NDAs. You know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure that because it's not in the film, it don't matter no more.
Oh yeah. No, but go ahead.
But no, as I said, that's another subject altogether. But no, there's some things, but they don't like it. They don't like it. I get told, oh, look at Will. Was it small part in a Batman film? Okay, but I was in it. I still got paid whether you like it or not.
No, they're just jealous, Will.
Yeah, it is what it is. I don't care. I'm just pleased that, like I said before, when the film was announced and Zach and Debbie posted that picture together having a glass of wine in their garden, that picture was enough for me because they looked happy. They looked relieved. They looked like they had come to the end of a period in their life where their tragedy, professional stuff, felt alone, left fucking kicked aside, not cared for, and then everyone around the world was like, "No, we love you. We got your back," and everyone did all that. You know, the OGs, yeah, that's fine, but everyone did it. You know, there's people that claim they did it, there's people that did it, and there's people that donated, but everyone who donated is the same as anyone who did anything. Because I could sit here all day and go, "Give me 20 grand, I want to put an airplane in the sky." If no one donates, I ain't gonna do it. Do you know what I mean? It's and that's why it's important. That's why it was so important at the end of that film. They didn't name anybody at all, like of who was part of the Snyder Cut, because that would have been so wrong. It would be. But what was I getting at? I was just going to say something. No, for me, I don't care what happens since. I don't care who really claims it. I think it's funny. If it's sad, I will talk about it if I'm asked. But for me, they got the film out. There's that picture of them. It's like it was like they knew they'd done it. They'd got past that bit. They were able to move on maybe and know that there's a future with their careers, with their popularity. They've closed the book on something. They were able to put Autumn's name on the movie as well. Do you know what I mean? It was nice. And I thought that was the sleepless. That was the late nights. That was the planning. That was the constant promoting and stuff and talking to people online. That's what it was for. That's it. So anything else?
That is super dope. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank you, Will, for coming on my platform, man, and really sharing your story, man. I mean, this thing has been fucking massive, like, you know, and just like you said earlier, yo, you know, I just asked you, you came on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have, you know, I'm not paying you for being on. This is just super dope. And I want to thank you for paying that energy forward to newer people like me, because you don't know me, you know what I'm saying? I haven't been on YouTube for super long. And yeah, I just want to thank you for coming on, right? And before we head out, let the people know, you know what I'm saying, where they can catch you at, man, what you got coming up soon, you know what I'm saying, what's coming down the pipeline.
The things that I have coming up, I'm not allowed to talk about. But
hey, I tried, everybody.
Hang on.
I tried, you know what I'm saying?
Let me just check. I just want to I got like 4 things coming up, and I can't say exactly. I don't normally say until it goes. I get a notification saying, "Oh, Will Rowlands has been cast as," and then I go, "Oh, I can say something." But there's about 4 or 5 different things coming up. There's a TV series. There's another TV series, and there's a couple of movies, but not like lead roles, obviously. I'm just me, just bits here and there. Some of it, I've got a lot. I spend most of my time going to more meetings than anything. Like, it was very productive that week when I was over with Koj, because I was meeting him about his thing, and whilst there, had a few meetings with some other guys, and the one that lives very, very close to Zach's studio in the same road. So yeah, it's funny that, you know, I did say earlier today that, you know, he's not the only film director and producer that lives in that area. But yeah, there's some things coming. I will though. If I get anything I'm allowed to say, I'll let you know. But I've got to be careful because people twist my words as well.
Oh no, absolutely. But I would also like to thank you for being the first actor that I've had on my platform that I've been able to interview. You know what I'm saying? So that's my first time interviewing a real life actor. You know what I'm saying? So this has been just super dope all around.
What I would say is, if you want to see what I've done, you just IMDb. I'm on there. Google my name, whatever, and see what's there, and see if you can find stuff to watch. Some of it's out there. Some of it's British stuff. So you might not have seen it. Some of it's on Amazon. I think I've got a Netflix thing coming soon. But yeah.
Speaking of British stuff, I was a really big fan of that show Luther. You know what I'm saying? I used to really love that show.
Now, I know you ended, but on a side note to Luther, brilliant show. But no way in the world would a DCI be out and about doing that stuff. A DCI is a detective. And I know every DCI I ever knew in my life would not be out of his desk. They are like, come into my office and update me of what's going on. Luther was a legend. He was a DCI, but he was out there acting like he's the sergeant or the inspector. He was out there, you know. It was a bit far-fetched for me because of that, because of my... But DCI,
yeah, but that's because you're an actual police officer, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, DCI sounds a cool rank. DCI Luther. But the reality is, he was DCI is a senior rank. You know, he would have overseen. But no, good show. I did like that. I thought the woman in the season 1 was a bit freaky, wasn't she? But no, it was good. It was good. Just sadly, the policing in London isn't as fun. It's a lot more paperwork.
A lot more paperwork.
Yeah.
But look, I want to thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks again. Nice to speak to you. I came on first one in over a year. I had good. You were recommended highly by Koj, and then you asked me anyway, and I thought, yeah, that's the guy, Koj. Why not? It's been a while.
Shout out to Koj.
Yeah, absolute legend, and everyone that was part of it as well. They're all brilliant. if I would say any message to anyone watching who's listening and not sure, anyone that you hear bad stuff about, look them up. Don't just listen. By all means, listen to them, listen to me, make your own mind up. But don't be stupid. Don't be a bot and just follow what someone tells you in life. You'll just be led off a cliff. Innit? You've got to look it up yourself. There's Google, there's the internet, there's everything.
ForSnyderCut.com. You know what I'm saying?
I've probably been saying it the wrong way around there. But
I think hers was the ForSnyderCut.com.
Has a timeline.
Yeah.
And she's linked it to things that happened.
Hey, one's free and one's not. Go to the one that's free. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that alone should tell you something. Yeah, just make your own. All I'm saying is people should make their own decisions and thought processes and evaluate things. I think to my son the same thing. Only a while ago with something, because you don't give that person a chance. You've not actually spoken to them ever. You don't even know them. You've already decided. At least find out first and then decide. And that's what should happen with everything. Like all this shit online. Like when these people, they jump on a bandwagon and they see this negative tweet about me or someone else, and they're trying to like make us look bad. Or like today, I'm on CCTV breaking into a house. Apparently, it's not even a picture of me. It's not me. It's a guy who looks like he's from Mexico. I think. I don't even know. I don't know. I thought the crowds are bigger than his head. Do you know what I mean?
When I saw that shit, I was like, wait a minute. There's no way you guys think this is really Will. There's no way.
But people do. And then they tweet it going, oh my God, I can't believe it. This is weird behavior. This guy's a psycho. He's a stalker. What? I'm in England. He lives in Pasadena. How did I get there and back in time without innit? I'll show you my passport if you want. It'll have stamps on it. You know what I mean? Or we could be the old-fashioned way and look at the picture and go, that ain't Will. That ain't Will. That's not him. In fact, I don't even think that's Zach's house. Or
it literally takes 2 seconds, yo. If you look at that picture, it takes 2 seconds to realize that that's not Will. It takes 2 seconds.
That's why I posted a comment with a picture of me and a picture of that picture saying I'm struggling to see the similarity. Honestly, my God. But people just retweet and go, whoa, I knew it was weird. Oh, I knew this. Because a lot of them want to look good in their eyes, so they get their appraisal. It's weird. You know what I mean? It's weird. You shouldn't idolize people.
Absolutely not.
Even the brilliant geniuses in the world, people like Zach and other people, they've all got flaws too. So make your own decisions.
These are facts, yo. It's funny because I keep saying this every time, but this is true, man. Like, I think this has been my favorite episode of OG Talk, man. It's like this shit just keeps getting deeper and deeper. Like,
don't say deep. That's Pilly's. All right, I'm sorry, it's his show. Go deep.
Go deep. Oh no, we went deep on our stream too, yo. That shit got real deep. But no, it's just like I just keep thinking that like, you know, I'm finally starting to find everything out. And then it's like every time that I think I know everything, it's just like I interview one more of y'all and this shit just goes way crazy.
You know, but no, I'm really great that I got to meet some nice people. And, you know, Billy, brilliant guy, Jeff, Koj, Mad. There's loads of people I could name. And now Ben, there's loads of really, really cool people. That really, I'm impressed that they stuck to their own morals, didn't bend the knee, you know, for attention. They just like, no, that's wrong, and they stuck with it. And that is integrity, and that is accountability over entertainment for sure. So,
absolutely. This has been great.
Go ahead. Issues with children, cats.
Oh man, look,
all sorts.
I didn't drop my camera like 2-3 times. It's all good, you know what I'm saying? Look,
this aren't we?
This has been OG Talk with Skywalker the Jedi number 4. You know what I'm saying? And this time it's been with the master himself, Will Rowland. So, you know, but from us two, we saying peace. We'll get at y'all next time. Restore the Snyderverse. You know what I'm saying?